You could tell right away when I played with him as a teammate, he was going to be a coach in the state.
Hibbert and Randall couldn't clean it up, and Karl-Anthony Towns on the board.
Great start to the two Lakers scores. Here's Rubio, fake, bounce, underneath, great dish, and a finish by Towns.
Side on Randall, see the moves of the rookie. Number 1 pick in the draft, coming across the lane for 2, Karl-Anthony Towns. 50th year in the league. It's the first time in one game you've had 2 players who have at least 20 years of experience as they go head-to-head. Towns at the top of the key. Really love his offensive game. There's just such comfort. Has been quiet in the second half. Towns over Hibbert ties the game at 97. Here on ESPN.
Interesting, you got to make a quick play. Good design by Sam Mitchell. Out of the timeout with 8 seconds on the shot clock. A quick hitter, and Martin, it's a wide open look.
Tayshaun Prince, the longtime Detroit Piston. In the lane, Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, 6'11", 250. The rookie from Kentucky. We've played 3 minutes, 6-4 is our score. TWolves have it. Towns. And Towns swishes one. Emmanuel Mudiay. Into the lane, laid up. No, rejected by Towns. Not the guy. 13-12, Minnesota leads it. Since the timeout, the Nuggets just 1 of 6 shooting. As Towns over the top, it's within 6. Towns over Jokic.
So you get him in, you let him get that deep on.
And Towns with a nice dish to Kevin Garnett.
The jump shots.
Nuggets 2 of 9 from three-point land. Wide open, Towns is under the basket, and Denver fell asleep. Tayshaun Prince covered up quickly by Gallinari. Long range, and that one drops for Karl-Anthony Towns.
Reed just saved the basket.
Towns, and Towns lays it in, 3-point opportunity.
Give for Reed.
Towns inside, and he drops it home.
And it's all that is a simple screen by the point guard onto the big who just curls inside. Phillips said something a long time ago. He said you gotta win timeouts. And to have a
Gallinari, good move. It's blocked by Towns. Timberwolves are all over the Denver Nuggets now as Towns hits the jumper. Jameer with 4 to shoot.
and just all out above the top.
Risky play there. Long pass. Rubio into Towns. Basket counts foul. Out to within 7 in the third quarter. 3 minutes in before the clock issues at 55-48. Rubio switches with
Garnett underneath for Wiggins. Towns will take it and make it.
He's got such a sweet stroke.
Did lose the rebound battle in Denver, but only by 2. They were much better. Towns underneath, and why not go back to that well? On the season, 11 of them have been to Karl-Anthony Towns. Plumlee underneath has it knocked away. Rubio's got Wiggins out in front of everybody. He'll hold it up though. Lillard, Karl-Anthony Towns gets his hands all over that and claws it out of bounds. Career to this point in his 6th season now in the league. Karl-Anthony Towns underneath, first points in quite a while for Towns. He scored his first 4 points in the very early stages of the game.
Cover the roller and get back out to perimeter jump shooters if there's nobody to rotate on that side of the floor.
Towns, wild shot, rattles in. Downtown. Lillard spins in the lane. Towns sends it the other way. Home opener for the Timberwolves. Long jumper for Towns, and are you kidding me, for the former Kentucky Wildcat? Oh, run for the Wolves. Lillard weaving through traffic, and Towns with the block. The cat purring and pouncing right now.
From outside the arc. He's not shot the ball very often or very well.
Towns hasn't had a problem shooting, Phil. Hit a big three the other night against Portland. Gets the long two here.
When he gets post-up opportunities.
Right side taking it at Towns again. Towns gets a piece of that one.
So left box post-up, he likes to go baseline right side.
Little doubt that Dwayne Wade will be ending his career in Springfield, Massachusetts. Karl-Anthony Towns with the jumper on the other end. Does not stop for anyone.
You know, he'd have gotten to the free throw line 4 times. Minnesota's yet to get to the free throw line. Nice cut along the baseline.
Bosch thought about the three, instead goes inside to Whiteside. And Karl-Anthony Towns with the jump ball as he got his hand all over that. If they're not giving you offensive production, especially considering KG and Prince are not really out there to take shots. And Towns right on cue does deliver with his first points of the second.
Don't settle.
And they can't extend him because it was only a 2-year deal. So he has to become a free agent. Wiggins, little Euro step.
Playing really well from them. Kevin Martin out with an injury. Jumper is good, little jump hook. Rubio weaves into the lane, drops it back. Town had a shot, then he wheels in and scores. And being as good an athlete as you'd like to see him be a little bit better defensively. Towns, good pass. Picked that off. Levine inside to Garnett, to Town, he scores. Towns will have a free throw coming a little bit early. Noah blocked by Towns, the rookie, blocking Joe. Towns, back, faking, looking, turning, and scoring. That was a nice move. Or it might have been 3 seconds, too. Rubio circles, gets him on his back, drops it down to Town. Fake, and the shot is good. Boy, that was a terrific fake and a timeout by Fred Hoiberg. Butler swings back, and then back to Powell. He fires the jumper, blocked by Towns. There's his hands inside. Yeah, great hands there. Look like a tight end. Offensively, sooner or later they're going to start scoring. Towns, oh, what hands! Those are good hands. He's got great hands. That was spectacular there. Now on the post. Watch Rubio. He backs in against Towns, missed the shot, and Rubio the rebound. Rubio came sneaking down there. It up and missed it. And the rebound to Towns. Back inside, Belizia. And he scores. And that was a big rebound by Towns. Back outside to Rose. Derek crosses over, running, hooking, blocked by Towns. He just swatted that out of the air. Rubio to Wiggins, gallops across, missed it. Rebound, Towns, back up and good. Boy, that's you talked about it. Youth. Rubio's loose for a minute. Inside to Towns. Look back inside. Nice. That's a nice play right there by the Rubio.
Towns on the handoff. Back from Rubio into the lane for 2. Keeps it away from Scott. Now Rubio. Again, they try to post Tayshaun Prince on the weak side. Towns dunks.
Towns, nice fake, nice find there by Rubio.
Get a couple of stops, it gives you a little bit of life. Towns up and in.
Well, one thing they're doing that you haven't seen Minnesota teams of the past is they play great defense.
Give and go to Wiggins, and he takes it right up and slams it. Beal leads to the trigger, 11 on the shot clock. Towns from the top connects. Karl-Anthony Towns reaches double figures with 11. 5 on the shot clock for Wiggins. He just ran into Splitter, and there is Karl-Anthony Towns with a lucky 2. 4-point ball game. 2 minutes to play. Teague down the lane, blocked. Picked up.
Hawks get a good look at the 3 and knock that down. That free throw is going to be very important.
Jeff Teague swatted away by Towns. Korver looks. Teague with Rubio all over him. Gets inside, no call.
Round today as Karl-Anthony Towns kicks it out from Martin. Got his man in the air. Shot clock down to 5. Towns will drill it.
Chances if guys are banged up like that, so I mean, I think that, you know, with Rubio, we didn't have any idea. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns knocked down another jump shot.
Towns picks up the dribble. Levine played some solid minutes in the first half last night, and a good start for him here tonight, drilling the triple. Exactly what Sam Mitchell wanted at shoot-around, by the way. He said be physical, be energetic coming out of the gates. Charlotte's had 2 days off in our city, as the Wolves get yet another stop.
Catching the basketball and footwork, putting the ball on the deck, trying to drive it. There's Cat with the block, man. One thing I was worried about with Cat going up against, it's fun to play this way when you can come down in transition. If it's a good shot and knock down a three-miss basket cut, those two connect all the time. Karl-Anthony Towns.
A point guard when he was teaching him as a youngster, and then he had the growth spurt. Towns gets the roll. That's his 6th board of the night. Towns from just beyond the free throw line. 6 points per game. Towns gets his own miss, goes back up, and an and one. Gets the foul from behind on Big Al.
He is offensively. He's been better defensively.
He's been fantastic defensively. I think he's got a better handle than Duncan had as well. Levine. Towns underneath. Over Hawes.
That's nice. In the floor spacing for Minnesota. They had guys all outside the arc that time.
Towns. It's back to a 6-point game. Time burn off. Marvin Williams gets free, makes the extra pass, and Towns gets his 3rd block of the night.
Zealy has played exceptionally well.
Really doing a good job on both ends for the Golden State Warriors.
Beautiful move by Towns going at Zealy.
And he ends up going with Andre Miller to try to get them into some offense.
The other possibility was Tyus Jones, a rookie who made his debut. It does get you thinking a bit. Here is Towns. How to force it over Bogut. Thompson got a piece of it. Here's Thompson. Oh, Green knocked it away. Both Thompson and Green looking for that pass. Intended for Levine, was chased.
Over Karl-Anthony Towns.
12-point lead for the Warriors. Towns with a very slick move. Up front along with Towns and Wiggins and Levine at the guards. This is Towns with the jump hook. It up. Towns able to grab it. Nice move by the rookie Towns with the bucket.
We see that substitution, Marv, as Towns is able to collect the offensive rebound and put it back, but Zach LaVine coming back in for Andre Miller.
Towns, shot clock at 1. And a left-hander, what a move by Karl-Anthony Towns.
That he's more mature, he understands the value of sharing a little bit better, but he's also more comfortable in the things he could do. Not on the backside. Did anybody see Mahimi?
Pacers 4 of 9 from the field early. Minnesota is 3 of 9.
He can make the shot. I'm telling you, he's a big man that can make that shot. That's the thing that makes him so difficult.
At first, I thought it was Mahimi. It was the smaller C.J. Miles as Garnett gets his jump shot to go. Bean in the first half. George Hill's made a couple of threes, and that's a rare turnover for George in the last 5 games.
Yeah, and a tough pass.
In the last 5 games.
Yeah, and a tough pass. And I thought he was able to get it because LeBoy has pretty good hands.
Terrific move by Towns. 90-73, Indiana has the lead to start the 4th. Wiggins on the baseline, rebounded by Towns.
Anthony Towns, I think people sometimes wonder why he doesn't play more minutes. I mean, to the degree that Andrew Wiggins did, knocks down the jumper. That's the way to kick out the point guard who was stuck on Gasol.
Towns gets the block from behind. Karl-Anthony Towns over Gasol, and the birthday boy delivers. Happy birthday to Karl-Anthony Towns. Towns backs his way in. Nice over-the-shoulder pass inside Andre Miller. Adept at that. Towns. Ooh. That was nasty against a pretty good defensive player. Finds Martin, forgoes the 3 for the 2 on the baseline. Towns there for the putback. Another rebound and a couple more points for Cat. Andre Miller, no. Towns with a rebound. And the flush for Karl-Anthony Towns.
So
Let's see how these two young players go at each other, two 7-footers.
He's a single coverage on the Minnesota end as Towns launches a 20-footer and makes it 8 points again in the season's first 9 second halves.
Yeah, really good, especially at home.
Karl-Anthony Towns, just his second score of the game. Here's Wiggins. Karl-Anthony Towns puts it back in.
Yeah, that time Whiteside got caught between going after Wiggins driving to the rim.
In and out for Towns, right back to him on the Prince back tap.
Yeah, he makes that shot.
Yeah, that's a nice looking perimeter jumper for Karl-Anthony Towns. Minnesota trailing the Heat by 1. Dragic driving by Rubio. The block by Towns.
He got that one.
2. Wade's pass for Bosh. Taken away by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Too low. Bosh is 6'11".
Top 20 in steals and blocks. A future and certain NBA Basketball Hall of Fame.
And an NBA champion.
Winslow, pick and roll with Bosh. And that's the 6th turnover on Winslow.
He didn't throw it high enough.
Gerald Green with a basket-saving block. Wiggins weaves in. And then tipped in by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Bosh went to help, left Towns open on the offensive board.
He missed 4 games with a hamstring injury. They lob it for Towns, and he finishes over Vucevic.
Well, the one thing that if you watch Karl-Anthony Towns, thing Scott talks about all the time.
Magic with 3 days of practice. Evan Fournier. Towns with his first block shot of the night. Their Twitter handle. Jeff and I noticed that Mario's is at Orlando Magic. Boy, another nice pass by Rubio to Towns.
Boy, such a great feel for the game.
Did not practice either of the last 2 days. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think Minnesota was calling a timeout. Going.
Yep. Everybody kind of let up.
Oh, no.
Towns with the block. Vucevic stayed with it.
Home to take on the Detroit Pistons on Friday, a team they've beaten 10 straight times, but still a lot of work to do here in Orlando. Karl-Anthony Towns with the jumper.
Really affected more shots than that in the paint. You got guys thinking. There's another block by Towns.
He's well covered by Fournier. Karl-Anthony Towns driving, lays it in. He went right past Vucevic, and there was no help for Nick. Rubio trying to get a screen from Towns, but Payton and Dedmon making it tough. Karl-Anthony Towns, they finally worked it for Orlando down by 12. Rubio, pick and roll game with Towns. Towns scores on the drive. Go to Smith. Guarded by Towns. Double team. Fournier knifing down the lane. Blocked by Towns. That's 5 rejections for the rookie. Down to 3. Payton fires from 20. It's in and out. Nicholson, an offensive rebound. I think Towns got a hand on that one. Here we go. Inbounds pass to Harris. He was open. Towns with the block.
Oh, to make the block. Then that gives you offensive rebounding opportunities.
Towns makes a nice move and scores the basket.
Towns puts it on the floor. Will take it over Ilyasova and drill it. Towns will take another jumper and drill another jumper.
Smart play.
Towns behind the back, Rubio for 3, cans it, and believe it or not, that's the first made 3 for Ricky Rubio.
Andre Drummond, who's averaging almost 20 points and 20 rebounds a game.
Towns, another jumper for Karl-Anthony Towns. Playing alongside his brother might affect him a little bit, but it has affected him. He's been playing better. How about Karl-Anthony Towns?
That's how you roll right there. And Bjelica did not play well at all either.
Bjelica fouled out early in the 4th quarter, and Bjelica unavailable tonight. Towns nearly turned it over.
You know, with certain guys, is easy to guard if they're not great shooters.
Towns, a huge block, had 6 the other night against Orlando. That got the crowd up on its feet.
9 times Minnesota has. Detroit only has 6 points off those turnovers.
Towns. Baines wanted a foul call.
Just stay and pick and roll
points. Detroit's last win over the Timberwolves all the way back in April of 2010. Drummond lost the handle. Pistons have yet to get a player in double figures, however. Towns underneath. Off the feet from Wiggins. Towns does the rest. Caldwell. Towns feeds Wiggins. And Andrew skies yet again. Another one, not that time. Rubio comes up with the rebound. Nice passing to set up Levine for the throwdown.
If I'm Sam Mitchell, do I foul Andre Drummond now?
Could try it, Jim. Rubio behind the back. Feeds Towns cutting inside, and Cat with the finish.
If you're not going to foul, you better get some stops. The roll game rolling to the hoop. Minnesota had no answer for him.
Levine loses the basketball. Towns ends up with it.
More individually, play in isolation more.
Brent denied inside, and Garnett comes away with the basketball. And Jim, that's the other thing. You don't see a lot of people getting on the plus side of 30 very often. Towns, nice little hook.
Making a penetrating pass into the post and another pass out, so play inside and out.
Towns will show off the mid-range and hopefully can get that going here in the second half.
Teams rotates out of it.
Thompson.
Wow.
Ball free, never hit the rim, so Cannon has to.
Andrew Wiggins, I just wonder if he could play the 4. Nice play.
Wiggins follows his own miss, and then Towns, I believe, is the one that got it in. Now with 5. Towns comes up with the basketball. That much farther away.
Could their games be any different?
You mean him and Towns? Rubio, nice feed inside for Towns, able to get Millsap in the air and then kiss it off the glass. What a feed, Rubio, Towns, and Towns makes the extra pass for Udish.
Neat town. I haven't spent a lot of time in Kansas City over the years.
Kansas City still aglow after the Royals victory.
Yeah, and the Sprint Center there, let me tell you, that city's NBA. Into his shooting motion with hand up, or you kind of make it feel you as Karl-Anthony Towns gets the jump hook to go. And Kmart's been doing that the whole night. But
fast without Rubio.
There's Towns, and the Timberwolves quickly on top 4-0.
Let's count.
Other than Curry.
Yeah, well, of course, Curry's playing fantastic basketball.
But how about this?
Wow.
For a young fella, that's pretty big.
Kufis again keeps it alive. Rondo. Oh, a rejection by the rookie. Nicely done.
Coming in as a rookie, you can get a little lost focus in every.
And there's another block by Karl-Anthony Towns. Now it's Caspi.
They're certainly playing up to their skill level.
And there's Towns.
And I think Kevin Martin will have a tough time sticking with Reddick.
Towns from outside. That's what they were talking about. Levine. 3 20-year-olds in the starting lineup. Follow-up.
That's what you call a step back.
Man, oh man.
Or at his desk, he told me that he always wants to keep Flip with him as much as he can. And guys, seeing Flip's team excel in the midst of tragedy.
Turn the corner.
Full. Turns the corner, throws it through Mude's fan. That's 5 turnovers. Wiggins drives and dribbles. Double dribbled. Okay.
Yeah. DJ didn't get him.
Chase down. But at the knees, that's his second bad wraparound pass.
8 turns. So.
Ball on the post against Levine. The lob inside deflected. Taken by Wiggins. On the roster, they bought him out, and he went on to Toronto, his hometown. But
that's got to be the only time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Against the Clippers, they would finish the month of November with a winning month. In other words, they would enter December with a winning record. They'd be 9-8. That hasn't happened in a decade.
1 year at UCLA.
Didn't even start. He started more pro games in 1 week of his pro career than he did his whole college career. Blake there.
Mude.
That ball was blocked by Towns.
Probably had a 3-point shot, a little hesitant to shoot it. Towns.
You just love.
Does have a nice stroke, doesn't he?
Yeah, you love the no hesitation.
Towns for 3. Bingo. That's what they're missing.
points off turnovers too. So it's what they do really well. Scott Skiles has them playing at a high level on the defensive end. How about that block?
Karl-Anthony Towns had a block fest in the first meeting. Low for the year, but still lost the game. Vucevic denied inside again. Towns all over the play.
Taking advantage of what they could right now with all of the inefficient offense.
9 straight missed shots by the Wolves, and finally it comes to an end as Towns drops it through. Harris attacks. Gorgie sends it the other way.
Nail help by Ricky Rubio. Tremendous nail help. Got into the driving lane.
Throws it up for Cat. And that'll get the Timberwolves crowd excited. That's something they've been looking forward to seeing. He has made 11 consecutive shot attempts. Davis has that one rejected, so much for that streak. Fourth quarter. Garnett. Towns with Davis on him. Cat looking to take advantage, and he does.
Just keep it simple.
Towns putting it on the floor. How about that? The left shoulder turn.
Just keep it simple.
Up the long jumper. Towns, a little shovel pass inside for Andrew Wiggins.
That's the difference between Cat and Rob Biggs, his ability to pass the basketball.
7-0 run here by the Blazers. Towns fakes the pass and drills the jumper.
The leg of Damian Lillard. Great play by Tayshaun Prince.
So Martin back on the floor now. The Wolves with their starting unit for this game, and Karl-Anthony Towns underneath. Behind the back for Towns. Works on Plumlee underneath, stays with it, gets a roll. And Towns now in double figures with 10. Martin gets it in for Towns. Cat pulls up from the free throw line, drills it. Stuck on 59-46 here to start this third quarter. Towns finally gets one to roll in.
Good pocket pass by Ricky Rubio.
As the Blazers are back within 10 in this game, shades of what happened in the first meeting. Timberwolves led by 17. Portland came back, but
like that, knocked down a jump shot.
Nice use of the screen. Doesn't need much time or space to get it up. Towns on the other end.
Ricky's just rolling up the assists in this game.
Towns, little shake and bake over. Plumlee drills it.
This he's put on.
Plumlee able to come up with the rebound. And then we'll just take it. Towns with the block, right back into the hands of Plumlee, however.
Play the one. Zach LaVine now playing off the ball. Karl-Anthony Towns playing with Gorgie Jank, knocks down the jumper.
Towns, Leonard on him again. Is met by a double team, has to give it up. LaVine for 3 over Crabbe. Crabbe was all over him. That is a tough shot by Zach. For LaVine, all kinds of contact. Towns able to come up with it, whips it over to Wiggins for a wide open 3. Towns with the putback. Towns for 3, drills the triple. Karl-Anthony Towns, 4th 3 of the season. It's the 10th meeting ever between Rubio and Paul. Rubio comes up with a steal. Chris Paul has won 7 of the previous 9 meetings. Garnett with some early points.
So when Harden gets fouled going to the hoop, he converts 19 out of 20 times, and that's a nice conversion right there. Nice pass by the big ticket.
Came into the night leading the NBA in dunks, and the margin is growing. Karl-Anthony Towns, meantime,
he can score outside of the window for it to be considered a fast break point, still have it too fast. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get necessarily quote-unquote fast break points to play fast, but he wants to be in a post-up situation.
Towns puts it on the floor. Wiggins for 3.
Andrew needs to be a floor spacer.
Rubio. Towns underneath, little hook.
Load it up, Cat.
And how about Towns? Another triple. His second in as many tries here tonight.
Bigs that can shoot out there are such a quandary to deal with strategically, guard and pick and roll.
Short travel. Got wrapped up underneath, and the Wolves do force a turnover nonetheless. Andrew sticking with it. Taking the points out of Bahamute. And Towns for another three. He's 3 of 3 from downtown tonight. Garnett inside, taken away by Chris Paul, and then Ricky creates some contact. Thought maybe he was going to take the charge, instead forces a turnover. And look at Garnett with the no look. Towns backing down Smith.
How good is he?
Left shoulder turn, baby hook. Yeah. And that includes the time in Minneapolis. Nance Jr. blocked by Karl-Anthony Towns, and he holds onto the basketball. Garnett for Towns, he'll take the long 2 and drill it. And a 3 of 4 start from the field for the Wolves. Cat backing down Nance Jr. again, a couple of moves. This time he's able to finish. On the all-time scoring list almost a year ago to the day. It was last December 14th. And Karl-Anthony Towns up to 6 points. Last 5, looking to keep that streak going. Towns just inside the free throw line does just that.
It's a tough shot too from that range.
Go back to the Final Four they won last year to finish their season as Wiggins gets free for the dunk. 27 and counting for the Golden State Warriors. Nance Jr. And he drops home the hook.
Man, just throw it down to Cat on the left box and let him go to work. Old and gray. Well, you're already gray. I'm bald, but you know what I'm saying.
Karl-Anthony Towns, 13 in the game for Cat. Ready. Rubio crosses over, gets a screen from Garnett. Towns there to follow.
What a play by Cat.
Cat showing off the quickness season between these two teams. Towns taking it right at Hibbert. Wow, he touched every part of that side of the rim before it went in. Martin nearly comes up with the basketball. Williams for Nance Jr. blocked away by Bielitsa. Wow. And a big block by Towns. Kmart gets himself free. Towns, wow, what work he's doing on the glass.
It really is.
The 1-2 for that rebound. Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 and counting for Cat.
Good denial by Gorgijek. Minnesota picking up their defensive intensity here.
Young gets blocked by Towns. That's the Wiggins for Towns. He'll take it over Randall and make it 26 for the rookie out of Kentucky.
Kenneth the layup and then knocks a 3 down.
Harris averaged 10 points per game. Inside, and the lay-in is good. Inside, and it's a slam dunk. For the foul, didn't get it. Tayshaun Prince. Garnett, long range. That's no good. Towns is there, and he tips it in.
He just pushed Towns.
In the lane and off the glass.
Yep. Here it does.
Knocked away. Martin's got it. Harris on the drive. Blocked. Towns.
Towns read it that time.
8 to shoot. Fareed. Fareed's open. Shot clock at 3. Blocked. Wiggins hang. No. Rebound available. And Towns puts it up and in.
You got a smaller lineup in there.
Knocked away. Turnover. Fareed's on Towns. Got to box him out. Levine dumping in. Towns overs. And he puts it up and in. Fareed goes down. For the Rooster. Towns.
And Towns again. He just shot that flat-footed, but he had Barton on him.
Stop. Back tap by Len. No look by Knight. A whipping of a pass to Len. He's bottled up jump ball. Yeah, injury-plagued career. Unfortunate for him and the Wolves. And there's Karl-Anthony Towns. Suns can get them in foul trouble. Just a raise of the eyebrow. Martin thought he was fouled and kept alive by Towns. I noticed you looked straight at me when you said immaturity. Struggle is not part of his vernacular. I mean, streaky, but not struggling. Good look by Towns at the elite side. You can't leave him open. He came here last time, right? Back in it. So Suns can't relax here. Yeah, Minnesota knows how to score. They're 9th in the league in scoring. There's 2 more points for Karl-Anthony Towns. The confidence boosting too. Karl-Anthony Towns makes the pretty move. Let's go sky high. Suns' biggest lead, 13. Shot clock down to 6. Wiggins pushing the issue, and he's fouled. He elevates so high.
Well, let him shoot that shot. It's a much more desirable shot for your defense.
Fareed is 5th in the league in field goal percentage, but most of his shots are much closer to the rim.
Yes.
Fareed underneath. Towns alters the shot. Fareed stays with it, falling out of bounds. And Foy has made at least 3 threes in a game. Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns finally on the scoreboard into tonight, and he gets 33.1% of those points from the free throw line, the 3rd highest total in that regard, or 3rd highest percentage. Nelson has it knocked away. Numbers for the Wolves. Rubio ahead to Wiggins. Wow, Rubio extra pass for Martin. Wolves really needed that, and Towns says, okay, I'll take 2 instead of 3.
And you got to run your offense through him a little bit too, I think.
There you go, right on cue, Jim.
I'm just saying, like, you know, you have to give him post touches. 4th quarter, Brandon Knight was just so good.
Towns
gets an easy one.
Well, and then you think about what Jameer Nelson did as well. Games, it's been a disturbing trend for the Wolves. Ball kind of just hung on the rim long enough for Fareed to be able to come down with the rebound.
Prince the rebound. That one about 3 feet beyond the arc. Porzingis defending. Wiggins blocks the shot. Ball picked up by Towns on the follow. Very good friends. Both play on Spain's national team. Played together for a long time. Towns goes right to the glass at Lopez.
Lopez got to take away his right hand. TWolves can't buy a basket.
Towns down low. You've got terrific post moves for a young man. Both
New York in the mouth and try to get it to 10.
Towns and Wiggins have combined 7 of 24 shooting in that first half. Towns starts the second half with a bucket.
Rubio 4 assists. He's 5th in the league in assists. And there's Towns for 3. And a quick timeout from Derek Fisher as the lead is cut to 16.
On and off the floor.
Lopez's 2nd foul. And Towns again from downtown. A 9-0 run. And it's a 13-point game.
He's just got to keep smiling. Derek Fisher said, hey, we're with you in this. You're going to get out of this. We believe in you. That's been the advice for Langston, Mike and Clyde.
That's his 9th assist. He's now 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Towns, sweet-looking jumper for the big man. Rubio back up top for Towns.
Towns has been lethal from that.
Drives on Porzingis, the runner. Back shot is good. And Towns with a couple of words after he knocked it in. Rubio gets away from Galloway, back to Towns. See, Porzingis has to go up on him with that impressive shot. He does it again. Towns with 22. Getting free, launches another 3-pointer. That one, Towns the rebound. Towns puts it back up, shot, count it, and one. Porzingis fouled him from behind.
DeMarcus Cousins did not play in the first meeting between these two teams. Karl-Anthony Towns goes outside and gets the first points of the night.
Give it up, and is not a very good passer out of the post.
Corner 3 try for Wiggins. Towns with the offensive putback. Andrew Wiggins has really struggled from downtown. Wolves Minnesota scored on 5 straight possessions. Towns makes it 6 straight possessions. A little bit amazing considering 75% free throw shooter on the season. Cousins has it blocked from behind by Garnett. Rubio comes in there, comes up with the basketball for Cat. Now Towns from downtown gets it to roll in. Well, Cat high of tying Phil Jackson for 5th most all time. Pretty good chance by the time we see the Kings again in March, he will have supplanted him for 5th all-time.
Warren would do it. Bill Lambier would do it. There's a number of guys. How about that?
Oh, how about Towns with the scoop?
Be able to challenge a 17 to 19-foot jumper for Brook Lopez.
Trying to hit one of his own, and he does.
Now, that's another question there. The reverse can be said. I didn't think it was going to get the top of the backboard. I thought it was going to come straight down.
Jack, another pocket pass. Young on the move, denied inside. There's Karl-Anthony Towns.
And occasionally he plays that same move a little smaller.
Nice backdoor cut from Wiggins, and Towns found him beautifully.
Initial move, that little fake to the left to the baseline. Simple. Oh boy.
Hey, Lopez had gotten his head turned around. Here's Rubio, dangerous on the break, all the way in, will lay it home.
3 assists from early on. Watch the football.
The turnaround is good.
Just his thinking after it came out. Watch out.
Yep. Rubio always among the leaders in steals and assists as Towns fires it down. Rubio, the drive. Towns got it to go, and the foul. He just 5 minutes in that first half. Towns. Ooh, nice touch.
Little Rubio, that shot. Don't let him.
Instead, Garnett will shovel. Towns will finish, and the foul.
See, I think part of that starts with Jack.
Wiggins got it off. Jang lobs it in. Towns will finish.
Young was holding his elbow, too. No call. In position to help out.
Sloan denied by Towns, read it the whole way.
The maturity type skills we're speaking about. Oh.
Towns with the left hand puts it home. Well, that's what's waiting for the Nets tomorrow in Chicago. You know it's not going to get any easier when the leader of the team is looking to bounce back in some kind of way.
Yep. Let's see when the first action starts. Right at about 11 seconds.
And Towns got it, and the foul.
Rubio. Towns across the lane for 2. As you said, Tom, he's a very skilled offensive player. There's a nifty pass there. Towns strong to the hoop.
Boy, I put it up there, took the hit, really aggressively running up the floor.
Towns has that kind of range, and he knocks it down. He'll shoot threes from the top of the key and shoot them well. Rubio in a crowd. Towns goes hard to the basket, and a blocking foul is called on Zella. That's his 3rd. Burst of speed, takes it back to Olenek. Kelly. That was a nice pass and better rejection by Towns. Avery baseline, hangs in the air, can't finish. Stays with it, got rejected by Towns, picked off by Prince. Nice up fake by Kelly. Takes it into traffic, can't finish. But David Lee can. Rubio gives it back up. Inside. Jang. 2. Throws it up. Hit the rim. Towns in the right spot. He's got a lot of offensive game, that kid. Rubio. Nice interior passing, and 2 for Towns.
I mean, he took it all the way to the rim.
Levine to Towns, double team, shows us the hook shot. Towns, nice up fake, better pass. Turner gets into the paint, hesitates, trying to get it to Zeller. It's picked off by Rubio. Pull up Rubio. Anthony Towns, nope. Gets his miss. Yep. And a chance for a 3-point play.
Tim Duncan, right shoulder turn, kiss off the glass. How many times have you seen that?
Karl-Anthony Towns. Wiggins driving in on Duncan, feeds Towns. Oh my goodness. How pretty was that? Towns from Tyus Jones.
It's another really good pass delivered by Tyus Jones. Far advanced.
Wiggins had to give it up. Karl-Anthony Towns drills it. Over. Shabazz gets it back and lays it off the glass and in. Karl-Anthony Towns lands. Karl-Anthony Towns just beyond the elbow, nothing but net. Force the turnover. Wiggins underneath, gets position. Towns for the follow. Towns again, yes sir. Towns will take the jumper, and Towns is feeling it. He's got all 6 of Minnesota's points early on. Rubio probing, finds Towns. How tough was that bucket?
Unbelievable finish.
Gets it back to a tie game again, second tie of the contest. Timberwolves have led throughout, and Karl-Anthony Towns promptly gives them the lead back.
It takes. I mean, you've got to be confident when you're a player in the NBA.
Towns, open look at it.
Like that. Karl-Anthony Towns comes off those pin down.
Indiana had been hemorrhaging points in the paint the last couple of games, gave up 126 combined points in the paint total the last couple of games.
22.5, but it's funny because they give up only the 15th most free throws as KG gets a couple of easy ones right there.
Towns whipped that pass inside, and that time it does not hurt Indiana, although Monte Ellis can't hang onto the basketball. Wiggins off the no-lift feed from Cat. Ellis has 5 of the 12 turnovers for Indiana here tonight. Towns underneath, KG doing a nice job with the entry pass, Towns doing the rest. See Nikola Pekovic dress and get into a Timberwolves game this season. Towns with a rebound, back up and in. This is going to make the starters.
There you go, step up screen into a Monte Ellis drive, and then Gorgie Jang just
taking it away. George Hill sticking with it. They finally get it ahead to Levine. Karl-Anthony Towns! And the Cat pounces. The night for Wiggins. He only has 8 total rebounds over the last 4 games.
They can pay Ricky.
And Ricky does. Cashes in. Cha-ching.
Post feed.
Today night with Jeff Hornacek still keeping his job.
I love Jeff Hornacek. A phenomenal competitor. Great player. Buckets after made shots so quickly.
Oh, Aldridge. I don't know if he was going for Mills or West or in between because it ends up being a turnover.
Athletic as he used to be. But Kawhi does a great job using that shoulder.
And Towns comes right back and gets an and one for the T-Wolves.
Just a step slow, Bill.
6 on the clock. Rubio, great pass at Towns. A thunderous finish.
That's a better catch from Karl-Anthony Towns. There to bail us out.
On the drive, Rubio the miss, Towns with a finish. Get on the attack to Towns. Prince wide open, and he hits it.
He's not going to miss very many of those.
Really in the post very much, and so how about as big as he is out there playing the small forward position?
Towns looks to answer. They were born 10 days apart. Karl-Anthony Towns, and Ricky's gotten better at it, Jim. He gambles less.
Yes, he does.
Than he used to, and Rubio now feeding Gorgie. What a pass by Gorgie Jang over to Karl-Anthony Towns.
He's got an important tendencies. Ricky's very good at that.
Timberwolves not get free, but the Jazz hang on to it. Hood gets it away with the shot clock winding down.
Look at everything.
Good quality, high IQ basketball player. Towns, speaking of high IQ basketball players. Towns off the turnover, takes it the length of the floor. Towns off the turnover, takes it the length of the floor. Draws the contact, and an and one for Cat.
How many big guys can do that? Tyus is just so good at moving the ball.
Oh, what a feed. Towns inside to Shabazz, who had his shot altered, and then Towns.
I'm telling you, Tyus Jones is a winner.
Clock down to 5. Neto feeding with the underneath, has it knocked away, and Utah's going to get another crack at it. And you just hope it's not going to come back and bite him for a second straight game. Towns, what a feed to Andrew Wiggins! Shot clock down to 5. Towns had a mismatch with Johnson on him, and he'll just go ahead and drill the baseline jumper. Towns Tough shot, follows his own miss, and then gets the offensive putback. Gone to the Jazz bench. Towns.
I love the no hesitation.
Wiggins to Towns. Nice combination. Towns from the free throw line.
That's good. That is really good. The screen by Andrew Wiggins.
The rookie out of Kentucky. Bothered by Drummond, he can deck it and lay it off just like that.
Well, already Stan Van Gundy up because not happy with Andre gambling.
Rubio penetrates, and that's all European right there.
Yeah, Rubio's a guy on the move, and 8.
It's weird, isn't it?
On the road. Took them forever to win their first home game.
Towns has got about 18 to 20 feet in range.
The 17-18 footer.
Rubio leaves it there. Now Towns has it. Step back jumper, pretty. What did Stan Van Gundy tell us? On the take and a kick out. Towns on the take, found an open alley for an easy lay-in. Wow. Towns from 15 feet away, rattled through. He's got 8. Roots in, a bounce pass to Towns at the dotted line. Deep position, and a good looking fadeaway.
Nice. I'm telling you, he's got the package.
Shy of a double-double. Drummond already with a dozen caroms. Rubio bounce pass for Towns off the high glass. A nice touch by Karl-Anthony Towns, who now has a dozen. Got those 50-50 balls lately. Jackson between the legs for Caldwell Pope. Denied by Towns. Caldwell Pope hung with it. Towns, who averages 29 minutes. Wiggins got that sweet stroke early here in the second. Towns. He'll take it over Drummond and make it over Drummond.
You know, the fact that he can shoot that shot really without...
Very comfortable where he's at. Rubio tosses to him. Step back jumper. Man alive. He is just he's got to keep everybody honest, doesn't he?
You got to really love the position he's getting. I mean, he's setting up 6 feet from the basket.
Towns off glass. Wiggins spinning on Morris. And a follow-up by Towns.
Well, Andre went after that shot, but...
Move it. KG finally does get the basketball. Got Adetokounmpo leaning the wrong way and puts the rainbow jumper over his arms. Phoenix. Towns. Strong take to the rack for Cat.
And the great screen set that up.
Long 2, a little bit too strong. Mayo, length to the floor, sent away by Towns.
The first foul that was called, the one on Shabazz Muhammad, was kind of a little bit of a ticky-tack in his mind.
Towns, tough take and make. And then knocks it free to get it back for the Wolves. Bielitsa, bounce pass inside for Cat.
Good job by Belly to find the open man. You gotta be smart right here. They got lucky, they got a deflection.
Rubio pulls up and drills it. 5, KG. Working on Parker. Henson came to help out, and how about Cat working the offensive glass?
KG thought he got fouled, he might have.
Bayless drives it down Broadway, scoop shot, no. Towns gets it ahead to Shabazz. Tayshaun gets it away. Rubio behind the back for Towns. Shot clock down to 5. Ricky for 3. Second triple of the night for Rubio.
Hey, but Adetokounmpo can make one.
For 2 tonight.
The shot clock was winding down. Had he passed it to somebody else, they would have had it with maybe 1 or 2 on the shot clock.
Towns the block underneath.
Look to do that. Not an exceptionally good three-point shooting team. There is Towns, who has a nice touch.
Know that he's going to bring a lot to the table. Sixers lucky to have him.
Wiggins posting the smaller Smith, and they're finally able to take advantage.
Under control at all times. Nice spin move.
Careless play, Noel and Ish Smith on the exchange. Towns gets the easy deuce. That is not a good turnover at all. 21 lead changes in this game.
But both teams have hung in there and not gotten discouraged when the other one takes a lead.
one word comes to mind when you think of Richaun Holmes: attack. Every time he gets the ball marked, he doesn't hesitate. He just goes and attacks the defender in the rim.
That's how well he has played. Still a long ways to go. Rubio taking a shot and gets a very friendly roll. By the way, Jim, I know a lot of people hate when Garnett puts it on the floor, feeds Towns underneath, and the Timberwolves already 6 points in the paint. Nurkic backing down on Towns. Ball comes free, and then Zach LaVine reaches in. LaVine, shot clock down under 5, gives it up to Towns. And gave it to Towns in a spot where there was nobody on him, so Karl says, thank you, I'll hit the open jumper. Second chance points of the game for Denver. The Timberwolves don't have any. Andrew Wiggins. Well short. Timberwolves are getting beat fairly substantially on the glass, and there's some transition points for the Wolves. Game tonight. Wiggins. Towns there for the offensive rebound and the putback, and the first second chance points of the game for Minnesota. Towns thought about the mid-range. Nice closeout by Fareed. A tough jumper by Towns, and he drills it. Jokic crosses over on Towns. Towns does a nice job of staying with him defensively. They were up near 50 much of the night. Towns, little head fake underneath, and able to get it to go.
Minneapolis against the struggling Wolves team who've lost 8 of their last 9. But a good start as Wiggins gets to the rim.
Great Euro step.
Here was playing so great until that injury in the finals. The Cavs competed hard without him in Love, and here's Towns to the rim. Good teamwork there by the Wolves on that possession. Here's Prince. In and out. Towns, good job on the glass, taking it away from Love. With the second best record in the league at 31-6, and they've won 30 home games in a row. Karl-Anthony Towns with 6 points now. Another good pass to Towns.
The corner 3 to win game 4 on the road, so someone's going to step forward.
Bulls have won their last 6. Meanwhile, that bucket ends a 10-0 Cleveland run.
See what they have in him, but you can only play so many guys and find a rhythm. As a beautiful pass from Martin to Towns.
Obviously, there's so many great guards in the NBA, and Russell Westbrook's right at the top as well. As Karl-Anthony Towns shows his range now, he can stroke it. He has a very nice touch. Steph Curry going to try to fight through it and play. Here's Towns from outside again, knocks it down again. LeBron, by the way, 3 of 9 from the floor. Towns, that was a beautiful shot. Great touch by Karl-Anthony Towns. 23 at the line. As efficient as you can get. Plus, they've taken all of Minnesota's turnovers and turned them into points. Meanwhile, Karl-Anthony Towns with 16. 0 for 4 from 3. LaVine finds Towns on the drive. Now, if they can defend the same way they are right now, they're 3rd in the league in fewest points allowed as LaVine drops it in.
Defensive type player.
Maybe the best defender in the league as Karl-Anthony Towns continues to show off his skills. He's got 20 per game and on their way to 120 points for the 3rd straight game as Karl-Anthony Towns shows his range.
Williams is met by Garnett, forces a miss. Dirk right there, and then sent the other way by Towns. Dallas, so Timberwolves not in the bonus yet. Towns finally able to get on the scoreboard because teams won't be able to pack in the paint as much as they have been doing of late.
Good defense by Towns and Garnett that time to bracket.
Rubio able to get free.
Little flex action. Minnesota runs, a lot of teams run time. It's just so impressive.
Towns.
Get Cat down in the low box and let him go to work more often.
Payne gets a lane and is met by Pachulia. Towns cleans it up. Minnesota back on top. Correa has it sent the other way by Towns, but right into the hands of Harris. Dirk looking for another three.
Those misdirects, all that action was false action to start that play set.
Towns.
Beautiful pass by Rubio, rolling Towns.
They get it to Bielitsa, and instead of taking the three, he'll drive it inside. Westbrook had 11 last year. He's got 22 for his career. Wiggins rattles out. Towns crashing the glass.
Go ahead, Carl.
Person, as is his competitive desire.
Yeah.
That was what Sam Mitchell talked about before the game.
Boy, he ripped that ball away from Karl-Anthony Towns as Gorgie Jen makes a nice pass to Cat Hare.
By Gorgie Chang. Levine feeding Towns in stride, and a nifty move by Cat. There you go. Holds on to it. Wolves have to get a shot up. Rubio from straight away. Westbrook couldn't take it away from Karl Towns that time.
OKC off of a Russell Westbrook assist.
32 points in the paint. Wiggins is hit by Robertson as he puts it up, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Last game was in Milwaukee on a back-to-back after playing a double overtime game against Boston.
Towns, nifty move.
So that's how they lost their first game.
Levine, no. Towns, the putback. And it's back to a three-point spread. Towns with a...
Harden trying that bounce pass again. This one goes astray. And Prince will all the way across the court now, back inside the Towns. He'll go to work baseline. Boy, he has got some really nice moves for such a young man. Now to Dwight again. Dwight, big offensive game last night. Another one of those bounce passes in the paint. And Towns all the way. Ariza on Wiggins. And Towns will step back. How about that, folks? He just scored in the paint. Now he steps back and hits a three. Thank you, Julia. Those two tweets sound like a couple of guys that know what they're talking about. Chang puts it up and in. Gorgie all over the place, and somebody's been in that lane forever wearing blue jerseys, and they finally get it back up and in.
Karl-Anthony Towns, he has quick hop. He jumped twice before anybody else.
Wiggins gets a double team, so they swing it around to Towns now, back to the old guy for two.
Always a good mid-range jump shooter on the floor. But the Rockets have got to start to stop the TWolves.
Well, Wiggins getting a lot of open looks.
You don't want to get into an offensive showdown.
Harden now for a double-double. Harden's sixth game of the year with 10 or more assists. And a basket inside by Towns.
Good power move by Towns. Mentioned as Towns bodies in. Can't hit. How about another try? No. A third try is good, and the foul. Persistence from Karl-Anthony Towns.
Each other out. Does a nice little play that time to get the ball in the post. An offensive rebound, but right now they're trying to do too much on their own. I think Sam Mitchell talked to you at the end of the first quarter. We get behind, but our guys never give up. We find a way to try to get back in the game.
And this will help. Wiggins on the delivery from Towns. An 8-0 Timberwolves run.
And playing well right now for LA. Had a 44-point game the other night against this Oklahoma City team.
That he did. It's up. No. Here's Towns. Towns banks it home.
Nice play.
Brandon Knight, who had 7 3-pointers in the first meeting of the season between these two back in December out in Phoenix. And the Wolves coming up with the stop.
Tornasek used to be the Phoenix Mercury head coach.
Karl-Anthony Towns with the jumper.
The thing you don't want to be, though, you don't want to be where Phoenix has been over the past 6-7 years. Nice cut by Towns. Beautiful pick and roll.
Wiggins gave it to him right in stride. Gorgie's got to get it away on the baseline and drills it.
Gorgie's one of those guys talking about non-paint twos. It just shows you sometimes when you're the best player on a bad team, statistically those numbers can lie. And certainly what we see now when you get love on a championship level team, the numbers were a lot inflated. All kinds of wrinkles they run on that action.
Tucker nearly lost it, gets it back, rattles out, follows his own miss, has that one blocked. Third try, no.
I mean, the one thing I think that people always go back to is Minnesota's style of play, is the lack of three-point shooting is what they always go back to.
That was nice by Towns right there.
It's the next level help that really good teams do.
Wiggins spins around on Tucker, got free. Towns working the offensive glass, and that thing just kind of hung on the rim and then finally decided to go in.
And the overwhelming opinion early on is the straight line drive by Brandon Knight. The overwhelming opinion, there's still a lot of games to be played. We still got another half the season to play here where Towns is going to be able to impress people like that.
Yeah, you can do that. 14 in the game now for Towns.
Last night, and that's in 18 minutes of play. So he's got to be selfish.
And we agree that
Karl-Anthony Towns,
early three with shooting the basketball some nights 25 times.
It'll be Karl-Anthony Towns and a save by Rubio. 2004, Karl-Anthony Towns works against usher. Man, good pivot, good post move. 11-5 early. Garnett was looking on that run on the back door. Good job by G. Man, they fell asleep. It'll be Karl-Anthony Towns, easy one to do. 79% shooting right now as they go to the post. And an easy one for Zach LaVine, slam dunk check. Shooting. And the Pelicans are also, with that foul, out of bounds for the remainder of the half as Prince is back into the game and a terrible pass by Alonzo G. That's how dominant that has been early. Karl-Anthony Towns, look where he's catching it on the block. And with the jump hook, pretty shot. Over Anthony Davis, protected it. An early triple. Wiggins aggressive and followed it up with Karl-Anthony Towns there to pick up and clean up that mess. Now Towns in a mismatch up against Ryan Anderson. Take it out of his hands on the double. Rubio gets the triple. So all of a sudden it's down to 12. 1 and 7. On the post move. Good play. Karl-Anthony Towns, boy, did the work before the ball entered the board. That's his 13th rebound. And he got AD out of position. And he's going to the free throw line.
That's not 3 seconds?
No.
Just 53%.
That's crazy, man. He should not be one of those low percentage free throw shooters.
Wiggins for three.
Really a smart play that time by Wiggins.
Over the last 8 games that he's played, Villanueva only shooting 24% from the floor. Karl-Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves lead by 5. At the Turkish team, Fenerbahce. Back down in the paint, Tayshaun Prince, tip in, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Well, Zaza had to take his body off of Towns that time.
Road record for Minnesota, 7 wins, 13 losses, but 6 of those wins were early in the year.
That's big boy stuff there. Close the door.
Towns showing off the jump shot.
He is skilled, really, really skilled.
Here's Wiggins. Thought he was going to take the step back. Karl-Anthony Towns will take it. Wow. On Monday night in the win against Boston, here's Pekovic down low to Karl-Anthony Towns inside.
He's so comfortable with that left hand.
Wow. For the rest of my life, whenever I pour a soda or whatever in the kitchen, I'm like, hey, there's Rowe. Right there.
Oh, man, I'm going to have a couple of smoothies with it for sure to be able to put some things together, too. It's harder to play defense right now. That's the only thing that's different. It's harder to play defense.
When you were drafted by Dallas, 9th in 1981.
Being able to put up big dukes, James Donaldson, I really had a chance to do some great things. I'm hoping the Mavs can get a chance to put themselves together here and get a win.
The last word, madness, because that's clearly what it was that particular evening. After thinking you had the game won and being forced to go to the locker room, come back on the court.
Fourth, being able to throw the ball to Mark, and Mark was smart to pass the ball, shoot the ball.
With him.
All started with Mark being able to be that anchor, being able to get that done. And with that, for me, as far as that's concerned.
Why do you think guys don't make shots, open shots as much as they did in the past? There were some guys that would flat, if you allowed them to be open, would knock shots down.
Today, everyone came over and it was a big deal. Every kid thinks about that. 2 shots, no time on the clock. This time it was an all-star game.
I'd never heard the term clowning on somebody before.
Man,
that's exactly what Karl-Anthony Towns just did right now.
That's a clown dunk. There's no question about it.
Yeah. And there has been some nights where it's regressed to being a flat shot, but no question there has been work to put more arc on the shot this year.
Towns, he went for the black shot. And that allowed foul.
Beautiful spin move.
Yeah, that's really a controlled spin.
Towns' 13th game this year of 20 plus. Also has his 21st double-double and just blocked Chandler Parsons.
Oh, nice.
Devin Harris changing direction on the drive. Zaza almost
Almost had the rebound, but just couldn't maintain it.
No question where Minnesota's trying to go.
Karl-Anthony Towns, a three-ball goes in.
That's a big basket. He's played in a lot of big games in college.
Down by 10, 84-74 in the fourth quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns at the top of the key jumper, and that's where Minnesota. He finds Zaza. Pachulia trying to pull his way to the basket and turns it over. Here comes Wiggins in transition.
Towns spins on Gasol.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Gave me the old chicken wing that time.
I don't think anybody's buying that. Towns, 1-2, drills it.
He just deserved better than that. Nice play by Rubio.
Yep, takes it away from his countryman. It's Karl-Anthony Towns. Cat flies through the air with the greatest of ease. Gasol again matched up on Towns, and Towns able to knock the basketball free. Gasol wanted a foul. Wiggins, who was set up on the three-point line, a little scoop pass inside for Towns. Towns up to 8 points.
Can't have lob dunks happen after a missed shot. There's just no reason for it.
Shabazz turns around and is able to hit. Towns, Martin for the three. Yes, sir.
Play, and you're trying to win a game on the road, you know, winnable game, you got to do that.
Shabazz, tough take inside, and he's up to 25. Towns takes it in on Hollins.
Man, that was a grown man move right there.
Not over the limit yet. Green blocked by Towns. Towns the long two.
That's come up big time in this fourth quarter.
Play with Michael Jordan and coach that of LeBron James. And finally, Coach Lewis played alongside plenty of greats, not to mention 4 of the top 7 all-time scoring leaders.
Three-point shooter. High pick and roll action. LeBron lost it off his foot. Nearly stolen by Kyrie, bottled it up, and Rubio couldn't control. Cavs get it back.
Going right around the foul line, and that was a high percentage shot.
Towns facing, hitting. Smooth stroke for the rookie who averages 16 points a game.
Change strategies this time, Fred. They're not putting him on JR. But JR wore him out in the last game.
Towns on the block.
I think at all times.
Here comes Towns in heavy traffic. And still hitting. How about that for patience?
He's a low.
Towns. And a two-man game action with Wiggins, and he drains that three. So Andrew Wiggins has 7. So he's 4-4 to start the ball game. Muhammad given the green light, hits it again.
He came in Minnesota and he was a hot number. He's been playing well.
This is number 3 in the league in scoring. Of course, they're down at the other end starter-wise. As Towns hits one, they are red hot right now.
Yeah, all of a sudden now the Cavs are letting them have too many wide-open 15-foot jump shots.
Guys, back out to you.
Here comes Pekovic missing, and Towns followed it in.
But that's what happens when you pick the pace up.
Back to Towns, show and go action. Lost the handle in traffic, and Minnesota cashes it in.
Double T throws the hammer down.
33rd alley-oop catch and pass from Delavin over to Thompson as Towns knocks it down.
Boy, he had a chance to fix it.
Gang back out there. Wiggins to Towns. Steps back, hits it. He's got a cool and calm about his game, doesn't he? Smith.
And that's what they're trying to do. Right there is a good example.
Inside Thompson. Blocked though by Towns. Wow. Levine strung out. Attacking. Nice give up to Towns.
That was a good super pass there.
Players elevate the lead to 13. See if they can put this baby away now. Towns facing. Got it. Karl-Anthony Towns with 23. 95. Rubio looking inside to Towns. Gets the rack and he was fouled.
That young man is a player.
Levine sends it. Nope. Rebound. Towns with a hustle to Muhammad. Came up short and still went in.
Shabazz Muhammad has 10.
That's the worst of all time in my mind.
Well, and then he refractured it when he came back. Karl-Anthony Towns.
And the trend in the NBA is to get back on defense and not go for offensive rebounds in the first place.
Towns wide open, knew it was good the second he released it.
At this point with 3 fouls. In the last 13 and a half minutes last night, he didn't commit a foul. Here over the top, Wiggins got a step on Westbrook.
Shabazz, nice cut. Gets stripped of the basketball, but that's okay because Towns is there to clean it up. One turnover to this point hasn't hurt either.
That's exactly right. Efficiency.
Towns gets through traffic, the dribble, and the finish. He is also third in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio, a number that he's improving on, and Andrew Wiggins improving upon his NBA resume, elevates for the throwdown. Towns spins on Cantor and finishes. And now Towns becomes the 4th Timberwolf in double figure. Career high is 56. Bielitsa, what a feed by Towns.
Yeah, Minnesota's young players are playing really well.
Practices that a lot, and it's nice to see that go down in the game. Towns from the corner scores.
Could be a team to come out of the West, despite how well San Antonio and Golden State have played. What a pass by Towns as he feeds Wiggins. He's got 17, along with 7 rebounds. Adams underneath,
good help
Towns
defense.
with the rebounds.
Great job by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Augustine throws it up, Towns throws it away. Battles for the rebound, but Westbrook comes out of there with his 6th board and then takes it the length of the floor. Rejected by Towns. Cantor, 2 offensive rebounds. Towns feeds Gorgie underneath, and the Wolves sorely needed that and had 1 opportunity. Made 5 straight shots. Towns, yes sir, and 1 for Karl-Anthony. Back as Singler knocked it away. Ricky an off-balance 3. Gorgie put back no. Towns put back yes. With 5:28 to go.
Line is the Jazz can make a nice move if they can continue to win on their home floor up the ladder in the Western Conference.
Well, they're going to have to stop that guy tonight. Gobert at the rim.
Rudy fresh off a 12 rebound, 6-point night against Charlotte. Don't forget the 3 block shots.
Missing his first shot. He needs one to see go down to get his confidence up.
Minnesota's had some luck in this building. They've won 3 of their last 4 here in SLC.
Jazz have to change tire this year. That's a foursome. That's going to hurt the NBA.
Maybe this is one of the guys that steadies the league.
Be short.
Wiggins inside, and the tip for 2. Towns underneath.
In 1 minute for the Jazz.
47-39. Rubio inside Towns. Wow. My goodness, jumped off a trampoline. Go full court. Finds Levine. 3 to shoot, down to 2. They'll pull the trigger forward. 3, got it.
Alley-oop lob. He didn't want to pass down his ankles.
Try to feed it on a lob to Gobert. And Gobert thinks Towns stepped out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock. Quick spin move. Towns jump it. Nice move over Favors.
That's a tough move.
Wiggins put it up. The Jazz grab the rebound on the block. Favors muscles inside. Blocked by
Towns.
Rudy went for the steal. Jang has it back. Pumps it inside.
I'll tell you what, I've been impressed tonight watching Gorgie Jang.
For Booker, only 10 points off the bench tonight.
Doesn't take a lot of threes. 23% on the year, but he's made 2 outside jump shots tonight.
Rubio, line drive shot, round and out. Towns the rebound for 2.
He's played great.
Nice look down low. Towns, front court, bumps inside on Hood, and then muscles up 2 more. 26 on the night.
You got to throw Anthony Davis in there.
If he can stay healthy.
Played 39 games this year.
Towns showing range under 97 a game. Towns stood out by himself. He scored the last 8. for Minnesota.
14 in a row against Minnesota. That's the longest active win streak by any team in the NBA. As Wiggins hits a three. Now, he's not a three-point shooter. He only makes 24% of his three. Clippers head on a road trip starting Friday in Orlando. Doc Rivers was concerned about this contest as a getaway game for his team, but
if you're Towns right now, get her out your way. You allowed them to switch back and put a body on you.
Towns with the jam, his first points of the night. 3% on the year. Towns has an excellent jumper, and he's starting to get it going now. Back-to-back hoops. Jang gets deep in the paint, missed, but Towns didn't. And so Towns with 6 points here in the third quarter. Here's Towns again showing off the range, 8 points.
Sam was saying before the game that he's always the first one in the gym. He wants to work, and that's why I think it helps having a guy like KG on the staff as well.
Beautiful stroke, 11 points, his first three of the night.
His dad before the game, he said his dream wasn't to become a professional basketball player. His first dream was to become a doctor. Says a lot about this young man and his character.
Jordan is done with, and maybe Minnesota's glad he made the last three. Now Levine cutting, puts it in. Wolves had missed their last 7 shots before Levine gets his 15th point.
Each of the last 17 road games when they allow 100 points or more.
They're trying to foul Rubio, and eventually Rubio with a great pass and the finish by Towns.
6 minutes and 50 seconds of the game last night. Memphis without a made field goal. As Towns blocks the Porzingis offering, now we're going to rise out of the crowd. Timberwolves have now, going back to last night, played 10 minutes plus without a made field goal. And it's going to continue as Wiggins gets wrapped up by Calderon. Has to find a way to see it go through the net. Towns finally does.
They ran that action to get Karl-Anthony Towns that shot. Camel hair jacket, I mean, just very basic.
How great was that?
Finish by Karl-Anthony Towns, up and under that time. It's showing you the length.
Thomas tries for the follow. Towns comes up with a block and the basketball.
You're seeing the defense by Karl-Anthony Towns on the
breakdowns for you in the pregame show. Off the turnover, Levine leaves it for Shabazz. Splits between the defenders. Towns there to clean it up.
Got to be able to use your right hand to transition. Wolves weekly.
Towns.
Okay.
An 8-0 run for the Wolves.
They wiped that away a long time ago.
Towns from the free throw line.
Cats been Minnesota's best offensive player in this game.
Of course, Amundsen has been teammates with a lot of people.
Yeah, he's been around. Oh, nice move by Cat.
And he gets fouled on top of it.
Karl-Anthony Towns had a chance to drop that over the top.
Bosh for three.
Take that, though. Blow on it, get ready to go.
Couldn't take a lot for Kobe to miss any games down the stretch here, as Towns able to get the Wolves their first points in the second half. For autographs and for pictures.
Oh yeah, it's a global game. The NBA is the most global game. I mean, soccer's obviously a global game too, but Alo was the guy that was doing it to him in the second quarter.
Towns out of the corner, long two for Cat. He's up to 19. Team with no Gasol. They lost Tony Allen in the second quarter. They had just traded a couple of starters. And now tonight against the struggling Knicks team, you've been outplayed from the jump.
Rubio has been great. Previously to the Memphis game, he was fantastic. What a finish by Towns. My goodness.
And one for Cat.
The run out by Towns. Karl Malone. The way that he filled the lane and John Stockton would find him, it was a thing of beauty. There you go, Rubio.
First made, well, did they call it a three?
At the time, it tied the record, which was George Gervin's. Look, up and under move by Karl-Anthony Towns. Another beautiful move by Towns.
Carmelo's best game in that run probably came in the game against Texas in the semifinals.
Nice to see Andrew Wiggins knock down a three ball, isn't it, Dave?
Minnesota got down 17, won the game.
And you hope they don't have to do that tonight.
There's a pass inside that's intended for Plumlee, tipped away and stolen by the Timberwolves. And made three-pointers.
Yes.
Oh, Blazers try to rush it down the floor and go to Plumlee. They turn it over as Towns gives it back to the Blazers. Long, but an offensive rebound by Towns. He puts it on the floor against Plumlee, steps through and lays it in. Nice move by Karl-Anthony Towns, who's having a terrific season.
Losing streak has started, whether to play Mohammed or Levine.
And that's been Rubio's Achilles heel, is the outside shot we're hearing. When we get a whistle, we'll show that to you where they did think they found it. Towns from the outside, and this time it's a swish over Plumlee. He's only 35 now, don't get carried away.
Well, that's old in the NBA.
Towns from the outside swishes that through, and Minnesota back to within one.
Fall through.
They've closed both quarters strongly. Plumlee trying to block the shot of Jang, but there is Karl-Anthony Towns. Blazers, by the way, were up in the game with 4:25 left. Here's Crabbe against Levine, Aminu, Myers-Leonard. Run off that three-point line, then blocked by Towns. Coast here. Wiggins, shot clock at 4. Athletic move, missed it. Towns, the offensive rebound, scores. Wiggins, shot clock at 5. They go inside to Towns, fades from the foul line. Tough shot by Karl-Anthony Towns. Jumper boy, 3 Blazers were in the area to defend that.
And they need to. Wiggins can really get up.
Plumlee spins baseline. Towns there to block the shot, and it's picked up.
Rubio, that time, let Lillard get over the pick.
Lillard tries to get over the pick, and Towns goes down the right side and throws it down. 20 years of age.
Yeah, they have
Noah Von Leonard.
They have 3 guys that are.
Lillard backdoor. Towns might have got a piece of that.
They hope he turns out like him.
Towns dumps it into Jang. Turnaround jump hook is good, and Minnesota back in front. And now it's Levine up top from Andre Miller. Levine. Blazer bench thought he drug his foot there. The shot is hit by Karl-Anthony Towns. 18 points, 10 rebounds for him now. Miller puts it on the deck. Towns for 3. Good. Karl-Anthony Towns, 39% this year.
Going, and then he picked up his offense. But again, when he went to the bench after bringing the Lakers within about 5 or so, they weren't able to hold on to it.
Off of a 15-point, 6 for 7 shooting night, one of his best efforts of the year in a loss against Portland. A block out of bounds.
Not all-star break yet.
Here's Rubio, misses outside, tapped out by Jang. Gorton Jang, 6'11", 25-year-old.
Where Karl-Anthony Towns was.
18 straight games in double figures for Clarkson. Here's Andrew Wiggins, yet to have a huge game against the Lakers as he makes the basket and Stu.
1 of 82.
Yep, here is Hibbert. Thinking about the sweeping hook, instead it goes under to Randall once, twice, surrounded by a trio.
When you got the court spread and you're working against fewer numbers, it should be a lot easier.
Karl-Anthony Towns, Stu, showing his range.
The way he shoots it.
Here's Wiggins. Wiggins rides all the way to the basket, and it settles in. He hits the floor, but Andrew Wiggins now has 8 points in the game. Indianapolis and Cleveland. In fact, 7 of the next 8 are on the road. Karl-Anthony Towns. Do you realize, Stu, that no team has had back-to-back Rookie of the Year? He has been known to have a big game or 2 against the Lakers. Karl-Anthony Towns stretches it out.
They should review that. They signaled that it was a 3. Stand up, be a little stronger, maybe you get that call, but they're ruling that a flop.
Danny Crawford, David Guthrie, Trey Maddox, the 3 officials here tonight.
Most part last night, the Bulls defense was really good until that 4th quarter. There's Karl-Anthony Towns. The last 3 months, he's been the Rookie of the Month.
Baskets.
Ball movement good early. Towns pounds his way in and scoops and scores.
Ty's going to have his hands full.
Ty's knocked loose and stolen again.
Trying to make a pass too close to quarters.
Jang to Towns, and he buggy whips it home. Rubio back to Towns. Pump fake and the drive and the scoop and the score.
You can tell he's highly skilled. Just the threat of him knocking out a shot left an open pass. That's the difference you're going to see right now with Mike Dunleavy.
Towns with a nice move.
He's got 10 of the 16 points right now.
Aaron Brooks drives, and that's blocked. And trying to find Jang, could not. Gallops into the lane, turns with a hook and scores.
I'll tell you what, he is going to be a load.
McDermott, Brooks faking a drive right on in, blocked, and bounced ahead and stolen back by Portis. Towns goes up and gets it.
I'll tell you what, he plays hard.
And
He plays hard. If you watch him play on every sequence.
He gets it back to Levine, who scores inside. That stopped an 8-0 run. After that 6-point lead. Towns running in, slips one up, and that was a nice play between Levine and Towns.
Trying not to give him any offensive rebounds. Only 5 in the first half.
Towns fires and scores from Rubio. Minnesota with 12 to shoot. Towns knocks it in. He might have been fouled as well by Bobby Portis. Towns, tough shot, floating away in the left corner. Now the Bulls have it on the run.
Bad numbers.
McDermott stopping a fake and a drive right on in. Block. Towns come out of nowhere.
You better go in there strong.
Oh, the pump fake underneath to Jang. He bounced it back. And the layup good by Towns.
Again, KYP, know your personnel. Ricky Rubio is not a three-point threat.
Rubio. Timberwolves looking for the early lead. Towns all the way to the rack with the flush.
Karl-Anthony Towns has been doing that kind of game against Minnesota.
Well, and that game started a 7-game homestand for New Orleans. Towns underneath able to get it to go. A 7-game homestand that Alvin Gentry at the time said was going to make or break their season. Games this year, Jim, in which they've made 10 or more threes.
Nice.
That was really nice. Sharing is caring for the Timberwolves right now. Levine gets the screen from Gorgie, then feeds him, and an extra pass to boot.
So they just have a thing together, those two. There you go, get it to Cat. Good things happen.
Cat spins on Davis, and good things do happen.
New Orleans has rolled us 61 here in the first half on Minnesota.
Towns, oh my goodness, Karl-Anthony Towns, how good is that?
But watching Karl-Anthony Towns, I hadn't seen him play much and be so impressed with him.
DeJon Jones has it sent the other way by Towns. Signed the second 10-day back on February 1st, so he's only got a couple of days left. Towns all the way to the rack in the flush. We mentioned Zach LaVine in the starting lineup as Towns gets to the rack and one. He's hit as he puts it up. Had a string of 5 straight games with 20 or more snapped when he only had 17 against Detroit. Cat.
Wow. What a move by Karl-Anthony Towns. This is fun. The hoop, he's got good hands. I like how he keeps the ball up high.
Towns!
Wow. This is where, wow. Spacing for Minnesota is just awful right now.
Towns, the offensive rebound. And he got hit as he put it in. Lowry. Valanciunas there to come up with the basketball. Ricky weaves and dishes to Shabazz. Towns there for the rebound and the putback. Timberwolves and the Raptors both in their final game before the All-Star break. Towns takes it in on Scola, but Scola, keep your eye on Valanciunas, Jim. It looks like maybe he's favoring his thumb as he reaches in on Towns.
Jeng has been successful offensively because he's had power forwards guarding him.
Lowry somehow able to hold on to it, and Cat comes up with the block. Levine ahead to Rubio. Towns, little floater, yes.
Boy, Lowry's been off in that corner over there, hasn't he?
He's only 1 of 4 from downtown. Towns off the feed, and the dunk! Handles, Rubio gets it, still time for the Wolves, shot clock at 8. What a feed by Gorgie Jang! And Towns comes up with the rebound. Rubio feeds Karl-Anthony, and Cat attacks the rim.
You got people grabbing their head.
Levine was trying to find Towns. Patterson was all over him. Now Towns does get it. He'll dish. Rubio looking for a triple. Yes! Towns from long range, and Karl-Anthony Towns has matched his career high with 32. Patterson sets the screen for Joseph, gets to the cup and misses. Wow. Towns comes up with the basketball, gets it to Gorgie. What a play by the rookie. thought about it. Minnesota, one Achilles heel for them is that is blocked from behind by Towns. One Achilles heel for them is turnovers.
In the right position, you can just throw it to number 50. He usually makes something positive happen.
Wiggins with a quick release. You're looking at a Minnesota team that has won 3 of its last 4.
Very unselfish team are the Grizzlies.
Towns goes to work and gets the roll. Intercepted by Towns. Rubio and Shabazz Muhammad.
Of the doubt when we can.
Karl-Anthony Towns the miss. Runs down his own miss. Wrap around to Jang for the slam.
I said it earlier, but in the month of February, these two bigs.
Rubio with 4 assists has yet to score. Screen and roll with Jang. Extra pass and Towns throws it down. Good play run out of the timeout to end.
Getting their hands on ball.
Grizzlies have forced 11 turnovers for 12 points. Karl-Anthony Towns for 3. 6% shooting for Charlotte. Towns back down, hook is home. 1-point game, 51-50. In. Towns, double by Conley. 3 by Muhammad, it's in. He's got 22.
He's the one guy out there on the floor you don't leave open now.
Chalmers goes to the floor, wanted a foul, got none. Danny Ainge making the long-term commitment to Brad Stevens when he brought him in. Rubio, the no-look for Towns, and Cat with his first points of the night.
On Rondo, and what Rondo did to them, it just was not a very good marriage from the very first moment.
Well, got it to from outside the arc before making that one. Towns.
Nice finish. Coach does not worry about whether you make or miss shots.
Towns fights for the rebound, is able to get it over to Levine out of the corner for the triple. Second 3 of the game for Zach.
Mates on run offense and then how to get his own when he needs to.
He's got 6 games this season with at least 30 points. Karl-Anthony Towns.
Beat the 60th pick. What a night that was for Timberwolves fans. Karl-Anthony Towns knocked down the right-handed jump hook on a right box post-up.
Plus side margin for the Knicks in a game this year. Towns comes up with the basketball underneath and puts it through. I mentioned that last game in Boston. The Timberwolves only scored 11 points in the opening quarter in Boston.
Up and under, baby.
Wow.
The old Kevin McHale slippery eel right there. Basketball players rank in terms of just overall toughness compared to other sports.
A group as a whole, Towns for 3. Top to bottom, man, those hockey guys.
Go Cat, go Cat. You just can't stop him right now.
Already 20. Staying with the Wolves defensively, however, and now the shot clock is down to 7. Levine pulls up for 3. Wow. Bird back in 1989-90. Thomas, tough take.
He's trying to draw the foul and fool the ref. Reminders every time he goes into the office and walk past his office. I mean, like, just think about all the little reminders that he has of his dad when he goes to work every day. Zach Levine, another triple for Zach. Elite team has been have and have-nots.
Boston, if the season ended today, would be playing Atlanta. That would be a fun matchup. Towns do a nice job getting back in transition.
Mouse in the house.
Wiggins can't make him pay, but Towns can. Towns works on Crowder and finishes.
That's the way you use the ball fake to freeze the defense, and he had a mismatch right there. A better stint towards the end. Good flash by Cat. That's just too small to guard him. I mean, Jared Sullinger's a fine defender. He's big and strong. Guard threes.
2012 Big East Player of the Year for Marquette. Wiggins starting to come to the party a little bit here. A 13-point effort. Rebko rebounded by Marcus Smart. Blocked from behind by Cat. And then they'll find
Towns jumper, then a soft touch.
Dwayne Casey can't be happy.
Rubio, entry pass, and Towns deep post position.
He is so good.
Of 3 from the field. 4 points, 2 assists.
Look at Karl-Anthony Towns. What a move. Soda.
Yeah, when's he going to find that groove? Yeah. And you hope at some point he does, because he's a talented young guy.
And there's been opportunities this season with this team. Raptors lose it underneath Biyombo. No foul called. Biyombo trying to go up strong, gets it taken away.
And early on, I give Minnesota credit, though. They've surrounded them with veteran guys, and it's really helped.
Muscles are loose, your ligaments are loose, so in the moment, you can continue to play sometimes, and then you get home, sit down.
For spacing purposes, Towns can make that. Bottom line, we've seen him shoot the three ball as well. That was inside the arc.
Shots.
I don't think he's in there to pass, just for some reason. Inside of 6 to play, in a three-point lead. What a stroke. Man, oh man. And shooting. Well, Rubio back there with Karl-Anthony Towns. And he got there. He, one way or the other, he was taking perk to the hole. And back to his strong hand. It'll be perfectly timed by Karl-Anthony Towns. We talked about his multitude of gets, and also timing's one of them, obviously. But nobody at home. Anthony Towns. Fans. And you can't complain about 3 because Perk was there a half hour too. Out at home despite Wiggins from behind. I thought he was going to block it away. 13-point game. It'll be Karl-Anthony Towns. Nobody picked him up. 9:20 to play in the third. Jang's already got 1. Give him 2. He's got a mid-range game and a timeout for Alvin Gentry, and they need it. Right on top of the basketball. On the trail, Cunningham going hard again, blocked away and off Karl-Anthony Towns, but he saved it. It stayed in bounds on the baseline. Blocker to begin with. Adrian Payne out of Michigan State in his second season. Rolling, and he makes the extra pass. What a pass by Payne. Karl-Anthony Towns on the slam. Holiday. He's got Anderson, but Karl-Anthony Towns saw it coming. And the slingshot dunk. Now is up to 28. 7 of 7 at the stripe. Karl-Anthony Towns lowered the shoulder and he's going to the line. Anderson got there a little bit late. Smart play as we continue to talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. But they have been able to get to the line, get the ball in the paint. Karl-Anthony Towns trying to do it now. How about that footwork? He's going to the free throw line, looking for the three-point play. Had a little more time, but it didn't come close. It'll be Levine, clear path, and a good take. He didn't settle, did he? Drew Holiday now, 18 and 8 assists. Rubio trying to get there. Anderson helping, so that frees up Karl-Anthony Towns. Alert play. Ricky Rubio's got his 8th assist on that dime to go along with 9 points. And off the dribble. Boy, he likes it off. A lot of guys left, guide hand. He doesn't mind bringing it up off his right hand. With 20 or more. Back to a 4-point lead. Rubio and Karl-Anthony Towns, the two-man game. I think they're going to be okay down the road. On 13 of 20. Boy, that's efficiency. Holiday, poor pass at the shins of Anderson. And the turnover now. Opportunity. Now Holiday hits it, so Jang's going to get it, and he's going to get a layup out of it.
And a great groove shooting the basketball.
Back-to-back threes. Rubio finally gets Minnesota on the board. They missed their first 8 attempts. Another effort of 25 or better for Parsons. As Karl-Anthony Towns hits was when Parsons scored 30.
Little Ray Lasso.
Paint catch here for Gorgui Dieng. And finally one of them goes inside for Gorgui Dieng, who'd missed his first 3 shots. David Lee in for Zaza.
That's too deep. Raymond and, Wesley Matthews.
Here's Rubio. Goes baseline to the pick and roll and finds a wide open Karl-Anthony Towns for a slam dunk, and a timeout now for Rick Carlisle.
Team on the second night of a back-to-back. Push, push, push.
Levine no good. Towns on the follow, got it over David Lee.
That is exactly what Rick is hammering in.
Rick's probably hitting him up for fashion advice, I think.
Of course.
To score in the open court.
Williams with 8 assists tonight. Averages 5.5 a game. Rubio with a 2-pointer.
Zaza proven to have both in his repertoire.
Levine Tipped in by Towns after Levine missed on a hard drive.
And now numbers for the Wizards. Temple has it knocked away. Nice active hands by Towns. Already the third turnover against Washington. Rubio. Temple has it knocked away. Nice active hands by Towns. Already the third turnover against Washington. Rubio making them pay.
Misses the layup and knocks down the mid-range.
March 25th. We'll close out the season series. Towns, the offensive rebound. Levine, no. Towns, yes. It's his inability to make some shots.
Brilliant basket cut.
Towns, speaking of brilliant cuts.
He took Jared Dudley to help like he's used to and to get back out to a spot-up shooter. Very difficult.
What a pass by Towns to feed Air Canada.
Oh, nice. To get back in the league, Dave. This guy has really fought. Really appreciates where he's at now as Rubio knocks down the triple.
Timberwolves' second made three attempt.
One-handed shots around the rim.
Gortat his 9th season in the league. Karl-Anthony Towns, a relatively quiet first half by Towns standards.
Points for Karl-Anthony. He does have 6 rebounds and 3 assists.
John Wall, and now Towns has a block. Levine crosses over.
Right there, Benzie.
Well, it's the national guys. They all call him Gortat, and it's the only name really that I've heard. Karl-Anthony Towns drills the mid-range jumper, but
instead it's the Washington's 10th turnover of the game. Boy, Towns sets a screen using the big body. The Wizards just couldn't get back in it.
You've got to be able, in today's NBA, point guards have to be able to score. Ricky Rubio knocks it down. Doesn't that tell you something, though? Point guard in the league, in my mind.
John Wall's shooting has improved throughout his career. Andrew. Towns taps it back up and in. And you think he was just trying to get the rebound, but he'll take the point.
Connect with Giannis.
I'll tell you, Jim, we almost saw it. You're going to see it. That's Rubio. You're going to see some highlight plays in this one. What a great running tap.
2 for 11. Karl-Anthony Towns is the Western Conference Player of the Month. There has never been a different player.
That could be a nightmare matchup for Minnesota.
To the post, and Towns again over Plumlee. Karl-Anthony Towns, 17 plus a game.
Now, I mentioned Rubio guards Giannis at the other end. It's the juice on Rubio.
Each team with a team foul. 8:35 in the first. Karl-Anthony Towns at 3.
Are you kidding me?
He hits 35% behind the arc and has 11 points. 8 of 16 in game 1 against Minnesota. A lot of bodies around the ball. It was given up to Gorky Jang. Rubio 3. That hit everything but the net. Towns puts it in.
Stayed on the top of the backboard. It's in play.
And now 9 on the shot clock. Giannis to the middle, creating space. Not enough. That shot blocked by Wiggins. Giannis gets it back. Inside, Karl-Anthony Towns has 15.
Well done by the Wolves. They had 8 guys in the paint when Giannis tried to make that play.
To go 19 for 27, over 70% shooting. Towns gives it up for Rubio's 3. When it comes to paint points in the league.
And most of Milwaukee's, a high percentage come out of transition.
Towns, Chang, and then Towns to finish. Wouldn't you like to get about 15 or 20 NBA players on a beach somewhere during the summer and just ask them about Giannis and have them be honest with you? That's Towns in the paint.
Well, they'd be honest then. That's right.
Mike Faulkner, they've been with us for the whole ride here. We appreciate it. They do a great job. Karl-Anthony Towns rolls on.
Kind of disappointing when you do. Karl-Anthony Towns starts this game off like he did last night. Karl was 7 of 7. Was on the palms as he goes back down the court.
A foul on the Nets, by the way, belonged to Donald Sloan, his first. And Andrew Wiggins, nice start for him from downtown.
This is not a big three-point shooting team, but that doesn't mean much as Karl-Anthony Towns sends it through the halo with the one hand.
That was plus 260 at the free throw line on this season.
I just think that it's the power of the three-point shot. It's where the league is going, and if you don't keep up.
Bogdanovich, Towns comes in with the block. Reed has it blocked by Gorgie Jang.
You know, just understanding the game plan, understanding tendency.
What a block. It starts the Wolves in transition. Rubio getting it back from Zach. You can see the highlights on. We saw how it was trending nationally. How about Karl-Anthony Towns still red hot? And by the way, we should mention, Jim,
dynamics, but that's a beautiful one right there. And
Towns show and go and finish.
Speaking of fathers, we talked to Karl-Anthony Towns Sr.
12 and 14 this season when they have double-digit leads. The most blown losses in the league.
Minnesota runs that flex action off the elbow, hit again. They ran it.
Towns. A while, finally settled on Sean Marks, who, amongst other things, spent 5 years in the Spurs organization.
In Miami, he's kind of bounced around to a number of different places, but
Wiggins leaves it short, but Towns there for the offensive rebound and puts it up and in. Played 3 seasons here in Minnesota. Last touched by the Wolves. For a long time, it was the Wolves and the Nets that were the only two that didn't have it, and Karl-Anthony Towns with the two-handed flush. Sloan has it knocked away. Wolves have numbers. Levine in the open floor again.
Things you see on video, and you see a team's weakness that sometimes you lose your focus as Towns gets your shot blocked inside, but you know Cat, he's going to stick with it.
Yeah, comes up with the dunk anyway.
The painted area, so he's been very aggressive, both attacking and showing you his versatility. Gets the dunk last possession on a block shot, gets it back and throws it in the face of the...
Towns.
Smith kind of reminds me physically of Craig Smith. Not Greg Smith, Craig Smith.
Yeah, but how nasty was that by Towns right there? Wow!
But that wasn't the case. Minnesota cut it to 7.
With a 25-5 run. Rubio, it's the second time he's hit a 3 when the Wolves, as a unit, it makes everything so much easier.
But you got to understand how to play against better teams.
Rookie Rubio finding Towns.
And that's how you cut those vertical cuts to the rim, and got a foul call on 2 free throws. Good defense there, good poke away.
Shabazz in attendance gets free cherry berry.
Nice cut. Baby. Shabazz Muhammad cocks that one back with a one-handed package of dynamite.
I believe, Jim, that was the night the Wolves set the franchise record for points in a game in regulation. Karl-Anthony Towns with the dunk.
Absolutely. Karl-Anthony Towns. That's a long jumper for a 7-footer.
Creates a lot of opportunities for himself and his teammates just because he sacrifices and sprints up and down the floor.
Gorgeous turnaround half hook by Towns. Frank Kaminsky in for the first time. Big Frank's got it. And Frank has the shot blocked by Towns. Levine with the misfire. Zeller, the rim run! A little bit too high with the pass.
Minnesota went on this little run here.
11-0 run. Oh my. Towns scores and is fouled. One-sided with a nice offensive run by the T-Wolves. Wiggins missed inside. Offensive rebound and stick back for Towns.
For him on the offensive side.
Towns, the blow by, and scores with the left hand. After the timeout, full shot clock for the Timberwolves. Fadeaway jumper is good for Towns. Talking about how the Hornets let the Timberwolves be their athletic selves. Help them get back in the game. Marvin Williams, a field goal on one side. Andrew Wiggins matches on the other end of the floor. Comes up empty. Damian Rudek in the game for the first time. And Andrew Wiggins continues to score after contact.
My goodness, how about the catch? Leads away with 20.
He's made 4 out of 7 3-pointers. The Hornets have 8 3-pointers as a team. Karl-Anthony Towns answers with a 2.
Plays at the right time. Teammates help him out by setting great screens.
Towns gets 2 back, but the numbers don't work.
Falling as a point guard. Those passing lanes start to open up now.
Karl-Anthony Towns is silky smooth.
Contact on those 3 plays.
Lynn behind the defense for a moment, not long enough. Blocked away by Towns. Cody Zeller trying to guard Towns, playing with 5 fouls, and Towns hits the long jumper. My goodness.
Again, you think about all the wins they've had together, and it's, well, Greg Popovich has done a nice job of resting maybe 2, but not all 3.
Andrew Wiggins had that 3-ball rattled in and out midnight.
Levine. Towns takes it inside on West and is able to get it to go.
See what I'm saying about how he works under the defense, Dave, here by Gorgie Jang. Of course, Dio's another valuable player on the floor as well.
Towns able to drill it. The earliest they've ever clinched in their franchise history in terms of games. Karl-Anthony Towns just continues to light up the scoreboard early on. 9 now for Towns. Now that Zach LaVine has been fantastic. Starting his 6th consecutive game tonight, averaging 19.5 points per over that stretch.
I love that. I love that left shoulder turn, right hand jump hook. The basketball, wherever he's trying to catch it, just deny it, make him get it off his sweet spot.
Towns. And Karl-Anthony Towns. And Andre Miller's contributed 6 points and 3 assists tonight. Gorgie Jang over David West. Their opponents are averaging 48.7% shooting. It's been a big problem consistently. Nice. Towns underneath.
Nice lefty finish.
22-point cushion. Diaw taken away by Tyus Jones. Cat with the finish. And Tyus finds him in stride. State has been, it's not out of the realm of possibility that those games could still decide as Towns finishes the alley-oop. That those games could decide the home court in the playoffs.
For the Thunder's last 7 games. Picks up Levine. Towns met at the rim and still powers through that. 30 points against Los Angeles came on Wednesday night after intermission. Towns, that's a tough shot. Well defended by Adams, but he's equal to it in the moment.
He was there all by himself.
Towns at the elbow scores it.
Very talented first-year player.
Westbrook blocked by Towns. Over the top, it's Levine. Durant has said they need to play better in longer stretches. But I think if Oklahoma City is able to just knock it off with the turnover. And there, the turnover. Singler looking for Durant. Looking for Collison. Couldn't hang on to the basketball. Towns comes away with it. Somewhere along the way in the late stages, that last run secured his 16th double-double of the season. Karl-Anthony Towns, 10 points and 6 rebounds. Ibaka checking Towns, who squares up and scores.
He's got that shot down. It is just almost automatic at this point.
11th rebound of the ball game. Westbrook flying, runs up the back of Towns, who turns around and blocked the shot. Rhythm, speed, balance, and quickness. I didn't see any of that effective, Michael. I totally agree with you. Towns gets the hook shot to fall, and all of a sudden the Thunder in a dogfight. Durant working on Towns. Towns fading away from the basket, and he scores. Morrow gets it in. Durant goes to work. Along the baseline, has that shot blocked. Count the basket.
Lure. He knew he was going to take a shot. He hadn't taken but one up until that point.
Still looking for his first points. Ball batted away by Tyus Jones.
That's Powell.
Step back by Towns.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm worried about.
Here's Levine. Into Towns.
that's the guy I'm telling you I worry about. He has been their guy all year long.
Within 4 after trailing by 10. Rubio, no hesitation. He's showing the touch from outside. That's a 3-ball and has 11 tonight.
This guy, Zach LaVine, was on fire in the first half. The only thing that stopped him was foul trouble.
And watch out, here comes Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, he deserved that shot.
Karl-Anthony hands it off to Zach LaVine.
This guy, he was hot. He was hot in the first half, and I guess foul trouble had to stop him.
Towns fires away.
How many big guys can do that?
Showing the range and one.
How many big guys can do what he just did? I'm saying all of that, this game's far from over. Only a 6-point deficit, and this guy right here is on the court.
Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and they'll go to him. Keep them involved.
Suns 4 for 6 from downtown in the 4th. And there's Karl-Anthony Towns making it look easy.
Well, he's good. I mean, he's got the back to the basket game.
Towns thought about it. Jang, and he jams.
And too much helping out.
Towns against Martin. LaVine with a fadeaway.
Loads of confidence, right?
13 and offensive rebounds in a quarter with 7. His 13 offensive boards also touched Tyson Chandler for the NBA single game season high this season.
To the rim, and then Ryan Hollins finished it. Ryan with 8. Towns. Meanwhile, Minnesota is just not missing. 63% from the floor. Towns hit it first.
It was a very good call.
And Towns goes to the finger roll on the other end. We've had those. The shorts aren't tucked in and you're not ready to roll when they blow the horn. Here's Wiggins for 3. 55. They trailed by as many as 19. The largest deficit they've overcome this season to win a game 21 at home against Boston. And Karl-Anthony Towns, another 3. Ryan Hollins offensive rebound. Tony Allen in a look pass. JaMychal has it knocked away. Barnes in traffic. 5%. And then the Grizzlies turn it over on the inbounds play.
Well, 67%. Remember, they were 61 and
his NBA career high. He had 10 in the Grizzlies' victory over New Orleans. Back door, and finished by Prince. Callum, tough angle pass. Grizzlies have made a couple of tough passes in traffic. Towns. Rubio calls for the screen. They get the switch with JaMychal. Towns posting up, throws up a wild shot and hits. Timeout, Memphis.
Leading all of the rookie categories that mattered. Gorgie Jang, nice pass.
Demo's got to keep an eye on that defender.
Side to Demo. You're right, Clyde, about that spring and White's step tonight.
He looks good.
There's a turnover by Pat. And Rubio in a hurry.
Turnovers.
Nice pass by Towns. I think he caught Wiggins by surprise, but he recovered nicely.
2 minutes.
There's Towns putting it up and in over Beasley. For fun then. Shows you the range these guys have. Towns puts it up and in.
Big guy with a post game and 3-point shooting. The ball to you. Well, we've been saying that since October. So it's nice to hear them say that.
Karl-Anthony Towns with a layup and one. Even a better pass by Towns, but Jang put the ball on the floor, lost it, gives it back. Towns never came out of the lane, so he was in there about 7 seconds.
I thought he traveled.
Leads the starters with 13 points. Towns to the middle with a beautiful shot.
Boy, that's just a great touch. 7-footer can put the ball on the floor, make his own shot.
Going to be more, though. Canada known for hockey for years, but they're getting pretty used to basketball. There's a turnover. Minnesota all the way to the basket. Wiggins carries that ball, but really no whistle, almost traveled. And Towns with a high arcing shot for 2.
That's just an incredible touch.
Rubio picks up his dribble now, and he goes back door to Towns. How do you leave Towns open? By Beasley to get around that pick. Gorgie Jang with a miss, and Towns follows it.
Towns gets up so quickly off the jump.
He's back to Towns. Towns has it in operating room, puts it up and in. He is almost, from that range right there with both hands, is a very adequate shooter.
But can they win 3 more games with that roster? They got a lot of injuries.
Basket from the outside is good. 3 and 10. Backboard with 20 assists. Oh, what a good touch. Because this young Minnesota team has hung in there.
Yeah, they don't give up.
A lot of offense, and there it is. Karl-Anthony Towns with 31 points. Good defense by Terry. Tips it away. Harden turns him around. Back the other way and is blocked by Towns. What a sensational move by the big rookie.
Thompson. Rubio snips it out. Cat ahead to Levine, and look out, Zach with the throwdown. Assists out of the forward position. Levine off the loose ball, feeding Cat underneath.
You could play the same defense, and Steph Curry could go for 40. The same level of defense, the same. Nice jump shot from the perimeter again from Minnesota. Karl-Anthony Towns knocking it down. What Karl-Anthony Towns did on that possession was just fine.
Wiggins looking to counter for 3. And Andrew continues to be red hot. Where every coach thinks that the officials have it out for their team at some point during a game. And you kind of lose your control. Cat inside.
9 for the Golden State Warriors, who just did a great job of sharing the ball.
Towns long 2, no, works right back into his hands, and he gets to the rack.
You're going to get a chance to play and be on a part of a very good team, and injuries took him out of the mix.
Yeah, it happened in the second game of the season, 2012-2013, when he tore the ACL, and they will officially be eliminated. Ricky Rubio gets knocked to the floor, no call. Karl-Anthony Towns with some defense at the rim. Levine out in front of everybody. Curry has it knocked away. 4 turnovers to start the second half for Golden State. Towns off the feet from Levine.
Gorgie mistimed that. McAdoo mistimed it too.
Rubio feeding Towns for the flush.
Rim, then I would have him front and have him get all this easy loose change around the basket.
And Curry's been the one finding him off, and Curry's got 9 assists. Karl-Anthony Towns up to 18 points. Steph Curry still sitting on the bench for Golden State. Towns over Berejao. 4 of their 5 starters on the floor. Gorgie the lone exception. Towns off the feed from Ricky, scoops it in.
See what happens when you get...
Towns gets by Draymond Green, and Karl-Anthony gets it back to a tie game. Ricky will back it out. Towns gets the contact and the roll.
It's coming true to form here. Both of them leading their teams in scoring thus far.
Cat with the block. Under the feet underneath. Towns with another block. Well, that's going to be the next big area of growth for this Timberwolves team. These youngsters, they need to learn to get it together on the defensive end. Towns with the finish inside.
Have a sport code, because typically guys, when they aren't playing, they get into the street clothes, but you got to have the dress code met.
Ways to get points on the board for his team. Karl-Anthony Towns just picked up his 3rd block of the game. Not by a lot, but down a little bit. Of course, he's deferring a lot to DeMarcus Cousins. Towns comes up with the offensive rebound and the putback.
I just like that he tries it, though.
Oh, a better highlight!
A better highlight is right.
Towns will take it over Koufos.
Good footwork. He didn't have the deep seal post up. We saw these.
The Timberwolves looking to beat the Kings for a 3rd straight time, seeking their first 3-game win streak in the series since 07-08.
That time, and they called him for the foul.
Towns.
Show him go, baby.
Yeah, really got Koufos to bite, didn't he? Towns gets a piece of it. AC comes up with it. Gorgie Jang says, not on my watch. No. Towns keeps the dribble alive all the way to the rack, and that Long rebound. Right back from Levine, drills it.
That's the way to attack the big in the ice, too, because the big dropped into coverage. They're stepping up right now along with Karl-Anthony Towns.
And off the turnover, Jones feeding Cat, who attacks the rim. 24 points in the game. Nice feed to Gorgie underneath, and one. And the Wolves firing on all cylinders right now here at Target Center.
Coach Calipari did not put him in post-up situations very often.
Oh, what a putback up and in by Karl-Anthony Towns.
What a tip.
Terrific pickup for Washington. Pretty nifty shot himself. Here's one here, 109-95, but they dropped the game in Minnesota, 97-77. Tough shot.
I'll tell you what, he's giving it to you all kind of ways, and that was coming off the bench, but of course they're going to be paying close attention to Brad. They saw the success Atlanta had in keeping him away from the ball.
Open jumper for Gorgie Jang. His third year from Louisville. He just doesn't miss.
And he has all the moves. I mean, here's a 7-footer that...
Strong move and an easy two.
That was a real good fake.
Yeah, it was great fake. Away. Ripped away from Nene. What a shot.
You know?
It really is. Anytime Levine is 4 for 4, he's got 10 points in the last minute 45. Make it 12.
Where he will work out between midnight and 1 a.m. and people have to come in and tell him to go home. Clearly hard work has paid off for that young man. Wizards also believe they need to create some turnovers.
But Minnesota has cashed in on Washington's turnovers to the tune of 15 points. And 2 more in the paint.
He's starting this, and that's a position he was comfortable with over the last 2 years.
Wasting no time, Zach LaVine drops in another 3. Towns is open, and he drills it. 13 assists, 3 boards for Wall.
Be real distracting when, even though you fake the guy down, just somebody goes to the floor.
Towns is open, and he drills it. Towns again. Unbelievable. Met by Wall. Cross court. Towns to tie it. How do you like that? 0.7 seconds remaining in double overtime.
Boy, if they could get going to say if they could get the ball to Levine. Levine, the only one of the starters not getting to the free throw line so far.
Basketball. But both Utah and Dallas identical 35 and 37 records. Towns takes it away from Hayward in Washington. Shot clock down to 1. Wiggins lets it fly just in time. Can't the offensive rebound, and finally we have some points on the board.
By the way, can also knock down perimeter jump shots. And so it's just a good combination.
Karl-Anthony Towns knocking down a perimeter jump shot. They've got 37 of them up already. Just haven't been able to get many of them to go through the net.
They're 10th in the league. Points per game, this is why points per game is somewhat deceiving, as Minnesota gets a block by Karl-Anthony Towns there. They're second in the league defensively in points per game. Young guys. We talked about how Rubio needs to have players around him. Karl-Anthony Towns knocks down the triple, or the jump shot there. Zach LaVine and what he's done from the shooting guard position. Statistically,
Favors blocked a couple of times and then eventually Timberwolves led 4-0 in this game. It was the only lead that they've had.
I'm not sure you could slide a piece of paper under Gorgie's feet when he shoots a shot.
Ricky Rubio, 20 points already on the night. His 4th 20-point game of the season. Gives it up for Towns.
See how Favors contained that time?
Points on this possession. Instead, the Wolves force the turnover. Levine takes it on Lyles. Wow, he found an extra gear. Good news is, Jim, this is the final back-to-back of the season for Minnesota. No more back-to-backs the rest of the way over the final 9 games. He has against the Dallas Mavericks. That's his worst win percentage against any franchise.
It's like Sam, when Sam was the coach, the head coach, as Karl-Anthony Towns knocks down the triple. Minnesota did not win that last game against Utah, but Rubio tried to will them to the win.
Oh, what a feast! Ricky Rubio probes, Karl-Anthony Towns cuts, and the Wolves get a lay-in as a result.
No question. It's also about keeping this young core together. Karl-Anthony Towns, what a put back. My goodness.
At the rim.
That's all part of it. Great steal by Karl-Anthony Towns to slip that out and get in the passing lane.
Suns are shooting 12 of 18, 66.7%. Towns works on Teletovic. And Towns is already in double figures with 11. And it's been a lot of fun to watch. Now the defense clearly needs to catch up. Karl-Anthony Towns playing like a man possessed tonight. To the fact that Malachi Richardson beat his team for a state championship while he was in high school. Woo! Towns! Woo! Oh my goodness! That was special!
Containing a point guard like Brandon Knight too.
Rubio for Towns. Levine pulls up over Booker and drills it. No harm, no foul. The Timberwolves get it back. Rubio leaves it for Towns. And the finger roll will just enough English to kick it back through the rim. I asked him about the threes at shoot-around today, Jim, and he said, you know, he is looking to shoot them a little bit more. Towns drilling along, too. Karl-Anthony Towns also in foul trouble in that first half as he has 3 fouls in the game. Andrew Wiggins knocking down his third 3 of the night.
Gorgie Jang and Zach LaVine, he lets him have it right between the eyes. Good high-low action here, and Gorgie Jang gets paid again from the great passing of Karl-Anthony Towns.
Zach's up to 8 points. Rubio gets some hands on it, then comes flying over to our area. The Suns had it temporarily. Ricky takes it back and finds Gorgie.
Middleton and C.J. McCollum have been in the league a little bit longer, so they probably, you know, Karl-Anthony Towns, he's just beelining right to the rim and taking Tyson Chandler to the woodshed. Maybe here we go. Man, the spin move out of the out-of-bounds play.
A 10-0 run for Phoenix.
Good screen by Cat. Really good screen.
Oh, nice feed, too.
Is 10 of 16 and is a minus 16 in the game.
Levine, a big 3, drills it. He's cold-blooded. The 3. He's made 12 threes all season. 3 of them have come against the Timberwolves. And that one touched about every part of the rim before it goes through.
Yeah, that was good.
J.J. Redick, he's coming off looking to shoot.
Yep, and they got the defense shifted with Chris Paul coming off a pick and roll first.
Towns steps back for the 3, drills it.
Where DeAndre Jordan pretty much limits his shots to, and he better shoot 60-70% with the kind of shots he's taking. Karl-Anthony Towns, though, he's got a diversity of shots in his arsenal. One day into a genius the next.
DeAndre Jordan favoring his right leg as the Timberwolves get the bucket. And
collision on the screen, I think.
That shooter airspace to come down.
Towns long 2 over Jordan.
Karl-Anthony Towns got the first paint points in last possession. He gets one.
But Lindsey Whalen, there's no question. Lindsey, one of the most impressive things, well, I mean, you've got a resume just filled with impressive things, but look, Andrew Wiggins with the ball in his hands, picked up by Jordan. Towns spins on Bob Moute.
Such a tough move. I think 3 years in a row I won the assist title off of like 2 plays that we ran because one was for Bio, one was for Simone, and they're shooting like 55% for the year.
That may have been the quickest timeout of the season for any Jazz opponent. Karl-Anthony Towns inside. That's what he does. First 9.5 minutes. Wiggins fires up the 3, nails it.
About that. Not considered to be a three-point shooter at 29%.
In Detroit on the tail end of his career. Out to Wiggins. Going to tow it again deep.
Well, it's time to pay a little attention to him because
12-0 run over the last 3:30. That ball tipped down. Here comes Towns. Oh, baby. Hammers it. He was 1 of 5.
because he had a stretch there during the course of the year where he was just flat out on fire.
Towns finds his range inside, takes it outside. Here's Levine. Wants nothing to do with Gobert. Down low, Towns, and 1.
Research Foundation, courtesy of Mountain America. You can learn more about Mountain America's community involvement at macu.com.
Hayward gave it up. Here's Mack. Drives inside, blocked by Towns. Oh my, got up high.
Just threw up a three-point shot. He saw that he had 3 seconds on the clock. Puts the ball on the floor, and finally Jock Levine gets on the board.
Warriors knocked off the first-seeded Mavericks in the first round. J.J. Barea, you mentioned the numbers for him. Cat, that was right at the apex.
Down for Karl-Anthony Towns. Good job.
Rubio just beyond the free throw line, finds Cat just beyond the free throw line, and Towns drills it. On Friday, as little baby girl Paulina was born. Gorgie underneath.
Good find. High-low action.
Have grabbed every available rebound in this game thus far. 6-0. Ricky gives it up for Cat, who alters the shot in midair, absorbs the contact, and will go to the free throw line.
2 of 5 last ball game, 4 of 7 the game before that, 3 of 6 before that. He had 5 of 8 the game before that.
Well, Jim, going back the last 5 games total, now counting this one tonight, he's 15 of 29.
Green and all of that.
He didn't complain.
He did not complain, and so that's another part of it that the fans admired. Rubio. And watching him warm up and shoot before the game.
Remember earlier this season, Jim, when I brought that up, and then people were like, "Oh, you're jinxed it." Well, now he's on 12. The shooting has been tremendous.
See, that's what Zach Levine needs.
Having lost 12 straight in the month of April, 0-8 last year. They lost their final 3 games in April under Rick Adelman, and they. Sam Mitchell, you heard Leah B. Olson say earlier, talking about it's all about just youth and over the game against the Mavericks, who do not shoot themselves in the foot very often. Payne able to get the roll.
First bench points for Minnesota in the game.
This is the second foul of the game on Towns, by the way. Cat, nice feed to Andrew, and the finish.
Andrews.
Although Dirk does have the most points ever by foreign-born players in NBA history. Karl-Anthony Towns. That's a pretty good streak he's got going. He needs just 1 point tonight to keep that streak alive. Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew's been excellent this game.
Towns passes inside. Bielitsa to the finish and 1, and that's going to be assist number 8 for Cat. Wolves have hit on just 10 of their last 33 shots. Oh my goodness! That was pretty! Their single game record for makes is 19. That happened earlier this year in a game against Orlando.
Their 49 attempts happened way back in '96.
Towns coming up with the basketball.
Been attacking, but Zach Levine's done a little bit better job.
JJ all the way to the cup. Julian, I think they're going to go goaltend.
Yeah. Tonight to get back to the great habits that they formed in practice to get them playing the way they have it.
And Karl-Anthony Towns can hit from deep. By the Warriors, 2 losses by San Antonio, and San Antonio playing tonight at Utah. Nice move by Towns, gets inside. James Michael McAdoo made the trip and were on hand last night in Houston. Watching their alma maters, Towns hits the outside shot. Chris Webber, Lewis Johnson from Oracle Arena in Oakland, Bielitsa, and the follow by Towns. Jersey was unveiled back in 1966 by the Warriors' one-time owner as Zach Levine knocks down a 3.
Let's play. They pay attention on the defensive end. The coach is right. Just make the simple pass.
Towns battling hard. It counts in the foul. The foul on Bogut. What a beautiful series of moves. 7 of 8 from the field. 18 points. And 9 assists for Curry. Nice play. The setup for Wiggins. The National Hockey League schedule Minnesota in possession, and Towns again showing the outside touch. That they're able to be on the low-key side.
Under the radar for sure.
Mohammed driving on Curry. It counts on the foul.
Execute and win the game the way that they should. And the other night after the loss to Boston, it was great hearing Kurt say, listen guys, as you see the beautiful throw down by Wiggins.
They're up by 4, just under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Thompson on the drive, rejected by Towns. 3:50 left in the 5-minute overtime. Curry is stopped. Shot clock to 5. Oh, strong move by Towns. Livingston defending on Wiggins. There's Towns to the bucket. And the foul.
6:15 remaining here in the first half. There's Towns showing the range. And well, yeah, guess what? He can do that too. McLemore finds himself on Towns, and look at what he does.
There's your inside game. We've seen the outside and the inside. Is there anything else?
Well, Levine's got it going on. He's got 17.
Yeah, that shot looked like he was expecting to be blocked or something.
And there's Towns. What a pretty move. Nope. Fourth turnover for Ricky Rubio. And the Kings give it right back. Gorgie Jang. Three-pointer, no. Towns put back good. And the lead is back to 4 points. And Karl-Anthony Towns with 13 points and 8 rebounds.
Peja. And Rudy just not working out very well for him. As you see, Brad said unforced turnover this year. I'd have a lot more dollars than I currently do.
Here is Tayshaun Prince. And that's a career high for Jerry's favorite player in the NBA.
I would say probably not. But if I keep screwing up names like that, I won't be, that's for sure.
Karl-Anthony Towns, 103-88.
Partially blocked there by Cauley Stein, but Towns there to clean up.
The other way, Levine had a chance at the 3, dumps it off to Towns. Good defense by Harkless to help out. Zach Levine for 3. And Minnesota's first field goal is a 3, and they tie the game at 5.
That time Henderson didn't follow through on his shot. He kind of pulled the string and it finished short.
And now Minnesota taking some advantage of the Blazer misses as Towns hits from the outside.
Good score on him from the perimeter.
Mohamed's drive off the mark, rebounded by Towns, and he puts it back in.
Should I shoot defensively, trying to stay out of foul trouble?
Towns from outside.
You win the game because they don't out-rebound a lot of teams, but right now on that offensive board, this small Blazer lineup is not doing a great thing.
For Minnesota hopping out of the timeout and feeling good, kind of clicking now. Towns puts it on the deck, spins it up, no, tips it up and in.
Not quicker. Oh boy, he took it right in the jaw.
Towns to the middle, flips it up and in. They've had a few of those bounce all the way around and drop down.
They haven't done that.
Rubio squares up for the 3, doesn't take it, now kicks it back to Towns. He pushes a 2 and hits it. So Minnesota.
Everybody in there scrapping. You can't.
4 seconds for Lillard, 3 seconds. Over Towns, blocked, short, quarter over. Go to Towns. Towns with deep position, trying to make it deeper. He goes to the middle, hooks it up and off, gets his own and scores. Second chance buckets again. Every time it seems like the Trailblazers are about to really pick it up and go on one of their tears, Minnesota comes right back.
To complete simply because they close that weak side up so well.
Towns wide open, top of the key. Now they run Mohamed, and now it'll be Bjelica up top against Harkless. They get the switch. Bjelica baseline, dumps it back to Towns, and he scores. Hitting enough big shots to stay in close contact with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Rubio is.
Towns, top of the key. That's his money shot.
and Towns. So they're a good fourth quarter team now.
Towns jump hook, and they do have their largest lead of the night, 7.
Needless to say, they really needed that.
But Towns scores again. Has answered all night. They go inside. Towns turns, lays it up and in. 1.8 left. No timeouts for the Blazers.
Wide open. He could have just made the next pass.
Once again, they try to get it inside. This time the turnover. Levine for Gorgie. Towns. And Cat gets his first points of the game. Your reigning Western Conference Player of the Week. Great players. It wasn't just rookies he beat out. He beat out everybody in the Western Conference, and he gets a nice assist right there to Gorgie Jang. And Dwight Howard would be on your list when he was with the Magic.
You know, and it just goes to show you that the luck involved with the draft.
A lot of decisions to be made involving the head coach, involving personnel. Towns drills it.
Stop a fast break for Minnesota.
Cat makes it all good as he gets the bucket.
Karl-Anthony Towns is not strong enough to be able to deal with Dwight Howard. Karl-Anthony Towns is quick enough and talented enough to do that. Been a problem, and maybe closing out games has been a problem.
Towns jumper, and there it is. Now he does officially have the Timberwolves all-time rookie scoring record.
Got through that first screen, then faked like he was going to use it again, but then rejected the screen.
Towns over Capella. But you're right, Jim, that the situation he inherited as Karl-Anthony Towns counters the three of his own. Man, there were a lot of dunks by this team, weren't there?
A lot of dunks, a lot of...
Oh, no! Actually, it's blocked by Towns.
Three-point shots, too. I mean, like that.
Pelicans do have, by scoring average, the best bench in the league, as Towns has another jumper, but...
Mohamed Nemanja Bjelica, when you're talking about Minnesota's young core, and even Tyus Jones as well. And so, easier.
Pelicans get sloppy with the basketball. Towns works his way in on Ennis.
So powerful. And then he can step out face up and knock jumpers down right in your face.
Towns.
Spin move.
Taken at the very stealth Kendrick Perkins. Comes up with the rebound. Towns with the basketball going behind the back, showing up the handle, gets it all the way to the rack, the high dribble, the finger roll. Towns with the basketball going behind the back, showing up the handle, gets it all the way to the rack, the high dribble, the finger roll, and it goes! Oh, baby! Cat with the block on Frazier. Muhammad. Like when we have our whole team, we can be a contender. We can at least to make a playoff run. Karl-Anthony Towns 7 of 11.
Shaming later on from last year. We're going to talk about what happened last year during the Rookie of the Year voting.
Big part of that is all the games missed by Pekovic and Kevin Garnett. Towns to Bjelica. If you take KG and Peck out of the mix. David signed a new contract before the season, and I believe it was a 2-year deal, so David's still under contract for next season.
I'm a huge fan of David Adams.
Ricky Rubio will be playing international basketball for Spain in the Olympics. Towns
by Gorgie Jang.
Ricky behind the back for Cat. All the way to the rack. 24 points, 10 rebounds here for Cat. Wiggins leans in and pushes it back up to 35 again. If Wolves win, they're getting a ton of points. They may get the franchise record for points in a game. Ooh, and they get a Karl-Anthony Towns attack of the rim.
That's is that a cherry on top right there, top of the sundae? That little cherry on top.
Timberwolves 65% shooting, long 2 for Cat. 28 now in the game.